Chapter 1398. Regarding this aspect, am not clear on the specifics. I only know that he killed the son of Ghost Demon True Master early on, thus being hunted by Ghost Demon True Master. Meng Xiaochan softly spoke. She knew about this matter because Nangong Yaoyao wanted the six-winged golden silkworm, so she paid attention to the news in this regard. Then about a year ago, a message suddenly spread that under the pursuit of Ghost Demon True Master's disciple, Ting Li and a group of Foundation Establishment cultivators, not only did he successfully escape, but he also killed the 9th-level Foundation Establishment Ting Li, causing quite a stir. Ghost Demon True Master was furious and offered a core formation spiritual object and a blood ghost condensing evil pill as a reward for him. Meng Xiaochan continued speaking. Lu Changxing was surprised to hear this. Unexpectedly, his son had caused such a commotion in Jin Kingdom. He was even hunted by a nascent soul immortal for many years, and had been pursued by more than 10 Foundation Establishment cultivators at most. At this moment he roughly understood the situation with his son's lifespan. It's likely that these years have been spent fighting desperately with others or on the run. With such a life, how can one not have a shortened lifespan? However, his son's battle achievements also astonished him greatly. Being chased by a 9th-level Foundation Establishment and over 10 Foundation Establishment cultivators, not only did he escape, he even killed one. Although he was not sure of these people's strength. But this, Ting Li, being a disciple of a nascent soul immortal, certainly has extraordinary strength, not the kind of trash Foundation Establishment. Lu Lang, this person is. Meng Xiaochan looked at Lu Changxing with worried eyes and asked softly. He is my son. Lu Changxing exhaled deeply and said solemnly. Indeed. Meng Xiaochan was somewhat relieved that she hadn't pursued persistently back then. She lightly bit her lips, feeling a bit uneasy, saying, Earlier, I didn't know he was connected with Lu Lang, so half a year ago when he appeared here in the Immortal Spider Marketplace, I also made a move against him. It's okay, Xiaochan, do you know where he is now? Lu Changxing did not blame the other party. If Meng Xiaochan had known Lu Chuanzhen was his son, she definitely wouldn't have made a move, and might even have protected him. So, in this kind of matter he couldn't blame the other party either. Now he just wanted to know where Lu Chuanzhen was and what was his situation. The other party's cultivation level was breaking through crazily, yet his lifespan was constantly decreasing, indicating there was a problem with his current situation. Possibly he obtained some kind of fortune, but he might also have encountered danger. I'm not sure about this either, I'll send someone to investigate now. Meng Xiaochan immediately said. Alright Xiaochan, thank you, if there's any news inform me immediately. Lu Changxing nodded. Seeing Meng Xiaochan walking out, he still felt a bit uneasy, took out a blood-tracking talisman, and smeared his blood and Chu Zenshin's blood on it. But this blood-tracking talisman could only sense the location of Nangong Yaoyao, and could not sense other bloodlines, indicating that Lu Chuanzhen was either thousands of miles away or in some cave heaven's secret realm. Meanwhile in another hall, Nangong Yaoyao, with an innocent and cheerful look, looped her arm around her mother's, concerned about her trip to Jiang country. However, when she mentioned her father, Nangong Mili's face immediately turned frosty, saying, Don't associate with this person too much. Why, I think Dad is quite good. Nangong Yaoyao became increasingly curious about her parents' relationship, trying to say something nice for her old father. And she took out the heavenly fragrance goo given by Lu Changxing, saying, Mom, look, this is also a gift from Dad. Whatever you want, just tell Mom. Nangong Mili saw her daughter had only known Lu Changxing for 2 months, yet she was already speaking on behalf of this scoundrel man. A few sour and jealous feelings arose in her heart. However, when she saw the pink, fragrant silkworm in her daughter's hand, her phoenix eyes instantly focused, noticing something amiss. This is... She held the heavenly fragrance goo in her hand, carefully examining it. At the same time, the goo insects inside her body awoke, transmitting a mysterious stirring aura. Heavenly spirit goo? Nangong Mili's stunningly beautiful face was now filled with a surprised expression. Although she was a nascent soul immortal, she still didn't possess a heavenly spirit goo. On one hand, heavenly spirit goo is precious and rare, extremely difficult to obtain. On another hand, it is far too difficult to acquire a heavenly spirit goo that suits oneself. If the goo insects aren't suitable for oneself, even if it's a heavenly spirit goo, it would be a waste of time and effort to cultivate. She noticed this pink goo insect exudes a fragrant aroma, making one feel refreshed and conscious. Instantly realizing this goo insect has a few matches with her daughter. This is from that scoundrel, your father gave it to you? She looked at Nangong Yaoyao with a suspicious expression. It's known that heavenly spirit goo is incredibly rare. This scoundrel man not only obtained a heavenly spirit goo, but it also matched her daughter's constitution, clearly showing he spent significant effort, indicating he really does care deeply for this daughter in his heart. But the next moment she recalled the time they were together, knowing he constantly abused her, offering no gifts, yet he was so focused on their daughter. Humph, this scoundrel man's eyes are indeed only for his own children. Nangong merely recalled how Lu Changxing abused her with myriad ways back in the day, yet his attitude changed dramatically upon knowing she was pregnant, expressing tender affection, a wave of sourness and melancholy in her heart. Yes, Dad said this goo insect is called Heavenly Fragrance Goo, and its effect is similar to my flawless heavenly fragrance body? Nangong Yaoyao introduced the effect of this heavenly fragrance goo to her mother with a bright, cute smile. On one hand she was saying nice things for her old father. Sir the Novel Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. On the other hand, she was also recognizing the situation of this goo insect through her mother. Heavenly fragrance goo, during the fourth transformation, it requires divine fragrance and others' faith incense to nurture. Could this be destiny? Nangong merely heard these words, murmuring to herself in her heart. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1399. Through her daughter's words, she realized this goo insect was perfectly matched with her daughter. As long as this heavenly fragrance goo can be refined into a life-bound goo worm and properly nurtured, in the future, her daughter's flawless heavenly fragrance body will reach an unprecedented level. Additionally, the effects of this heavenly fragrance goo are very similar to the heritage of the immortal lotus sect. Mother, what is this providence? Nangong Yaoyao blinked her big eyes in confusion upon hearing her mother's words. I've come to find you as there is something I want to discuss with you. Nangong merely took a deep breath and said earnestly. 5 days ago, an envoy from the immortal lotus sect, White Lotus True Monarch, came to the Five Poisons cult. This visit was partly for matters within the cult, but also to select a few people to go to the immortal lotus sect, to strengthen the relationship between the two sections. Nangong merely revealed the affairs of the immortal lotus sect to her daughter. Immortal lotus sect? Why does this name sound so familiar? Nangong Yaoyao tilted her head, feeling it sounded familiar. The next moment, her starry eyes brightened, her pink lips slightly parted, and she asked, Mother, is it that immortal lotus sect that descends to the world and widely saves all beings? Yes. Nangong merely nodded, her expression somewhat solemn as she said, The mortal world is like a prison. All beings suffer, cycles of rebirth endlessly, troubles never cease. Pitiful are the people as the immortal lotus descends, to escape the sea of suffering, to forever enjoy peace and bliss. Lotus Holy Mother, pure land of the true family. The immortal lotus sect is one of the top-level forces in the southern wilderness, with a great true monarch overseeing it. During the righteous and demonic war, countless righteous and demonic cultivators were brought to the pure land of the true family by the immortal lotus sect. Yaoyao, you have the flawless heavenly fragrance body which is highly compatible with the immortal lotus sect. If you could enter the sect and obtain the sect's cultivation technique, Lotus Sutra of Worldly Salvation, there is a high probability you could break through to the nascent soul stage in the future. Nangong merely spoke, her phoenix-like eyes revealing a bit of longing. Although she was the heavenly spider envoy of the Five Poisons cult, she wasn't very confident about breaking through to the nascent soul stage. If her daughter could enter the immortal lotus sect, her prospects would far exceed those in the Five Poisons cult, making it highly likely for her to reach the nascent soul stage. If she's determined enough to become a holy maiden of the immortal lotus sect and receive strong cultivation support, reaching the nascent soul would be a certainty, and she might even aspire to become a great true monarch. Nascent soul peak cultivators are also known as great true monarchs by the world. In places like the Jin Kingdom, Jiang Country and Yu Country, these cultivation nations have never seen a great true monarch in thousands of years, all stopping at the early stage of nascent soul. Immortal Lotus Sect. Nangong Yaoyao lightly pressed her delicate lips, feeling somewhat tempted. As one of the top-level forces in the southern wilderness, entering the Immortal Lotus Sect would naturally be a great fortune. But if entering the sect means separating from her mother, the old demon earlier attacked you because of this, trying to prevent you from participating in the selection, reducing a strong competitor for his grandson. Nangong Mili's eyes glinted coldly as she continued. After learning about the arrival of the Immortal Lotus Sect's envoy, she surmised why the Wind Centipede envoy would target her daughter. Others didn't know about her daughter's constitution, but as one of the core formation immortals in the Five Poisons cult, the Wind Centipede envoy was already aware that Nangong Yaoyao possessed a certain spiritual body, a bewitching body. This constitution was highly compatible with the heritage of the immortal Lotus sect. If his grandson were to compete against Nangong Yaoyao, he would likely not be a match. Hence, he wanted to deal with Nangong Yaoyao to remove a formidable opponent for his grandson. Mother, the matter isn't decided yet. If I enter the immortal Lotus sect as an ordinary disciple, then forget about it. Nangong Yaoyao said playfully without much sentimentality. If there's an opportunity and the conditions are good, she would naturally choose to enter the immortal Lotus sect. But if it's just as an ordinary disciple, it would be meaningless. With my Yaoyao's talent, how could she possibly be an ordinary disciple? Nangong Mili's phoenix-like eyes shimmered with motherly warmth as she affectionately pinched her daughter's fair cheek. Most parents consider their children their pride. Nangong Mili was no different. And Nangong Yaoyao indeed was Nangong Mili's pride, whom she had high hopes for, believing her daughter had the potential to reach the nascent soul stage in the future. Hee hee. The girl in the purple dress giggled in the beautiful woman's embrace, then continued, Mother, you also haven't told me what's up with Dad. Is there some conflict? Humph, don't mention that man. Now, when Nangong Mili heard her daughter mention Lu Changxing, she felt a pang of resentment. After all, having raised her daughter for so many years, within just 2 months, she was speaking up for that despicable man, making her feel like her cherished child was slipping away. Earlier she could still say she could fulfill anything her daughter wanted. But that despicable man was clearly well prepared. After a barrage of sweet words and gifts, she was utterly defeated. If Mother dislikes it, then Yaoyao won't bring it up, don't be angry. Nangong Yaoyao coaxingly hugged her, seeing her mother's demeanor. Nangong Mili, seeing her daughter's manner, immediately felt her heart soften, thinking that her daughter interacting with Lu Changxing wasn't all bad. Although she cursed at the despicable man daily, through their long interactions, she also understood Lu Changxing's character. He was very tolerant and forgiving to his own. Even though she went against him and cursed at him every day, aside from degrading himself, he did nothing much and even helped nurture her golden core. As for regarding children, he was impeccable. Sarch * the Nefire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If her daughter spent more time with this father, it would also be a good thing. But thinking of her beloved daughter having a cordial time with Lu Changxing made her very uneasy, fearing one day her daughter might be lured away by that despicable man. But thinking about the matter of the immortal Lotus sect, Nangong Mili gently stroked her daughter's head and softly said, Go say goodbye to him, then come back to the cult with me for a while. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1400, MHM. Nangong Yaoyao didn't bring up her father's matter again and obediently replied. Daddy, Nangong Yaoyao saw Lu Changxing outside the grand hall, wearing a mystic robe tall and upright. She immediately ran forward and called out sweetly. Yaoyao. Lu Changxing saw his precious daughter, immediately turned his head, smiled and called out. Then he looked into the grand hall, where Nangong Mili, dressed in a luxurious purple gown with a tall figure, arms crossed, appeared haughty and arrogantly gorgeous. He thought to himself that this woman hadn't told their daughter too much about the matters between the two of them. Otherwise, if she really wanted the daughter to dislike him, it would have taken just a little embellishment, and there would always be a gap between father and daughter. However, having been together for so long, he also knew that Nangong Mili was extremely proud and doted heavily on her daughter, unlikely to do such things. Moreover, she had a tsundere personality that admired strength. With his persistent effort in conquest, her icy heart had melted a bit, only that due to her character she still put on airs. Daddy, did you do something to let mommy down? Why does she get angry whenever I mention you? Nangong Yaoyao said playfully with a face full of smiles. Having previously spent time with Lu Changxing, she knew her father was amiable and talked naturally and with ease about her mother. Ah. Lu Changxing glanced at Nangong Mili not far away, rubbed his daughter's small head with a smile and said gently, There are some small conflicts between your mom and me, but don't worry, Daddy will take care of it. He naturally didn't want their affairs to affect his daughter, causing any negative impact on her. Ah, Daddy, you really did do something to let mommy down. Nangong Yaoyao opened her pink lips slightly, looking somewhat surprised at her father. Then she wrinkled her delicate fairy-like nose and pouted, saying, Humph, who told you to be daddy? Tell me what's going on and I'll persuade mommy later. As she spoke, she leaned closer to Lu Changxing, her voice lowering, looking incredibly cute. Adults matters, children shouldn't fret over. Lu Changxing chuckled and lightly flicked her fair forehead, saying, "Humph, bad daddy, I was trying to help, yet you still hit me. I'm not talking to you anymore." The girl puffed out her cheeks as if a delicate budding flower, her voice carrying a hint of playful grievance. All right, daddy was wrong." Even though Lu Changxing knew his daughter was just acting, seeing her so adorably aggrieved, his heart couldn't help but soften. As the saying goes, the crying child gets the milk. And this nature of Nangong Yao Yao, naturally endearing to people. Yao Yao. At this moment, Nangong merely saw her daughter chatting and joking with Lu Changxing, even acting coy, and immediately called out unhappily. Her daughter used to only act coquettishly with her, now she was doing it with this man, making her feel as if her cherished possession was being taken away. "Daddy, I need to go back to the cult with mommy, and won't be able to stay with you for a while." Nangong Yao Yao stuck out her tongue cutely and said, "Is there something up?" Lu Changxing was a bit surprised. He just returned with Nangong Yao Yao, and now she needed to go back to the Five Poisons cult with Nangong Meili. It seemed quite coincidental. "Mommy said an envoy from the Immortal Lotus sect is coming and we need to go over," Nangong Yao Yao explained. Immortal Lotus sect? Upon hearing the name, Lu Changxing's expression slightly tensed. He had heard this name from Ling Zixiao. 1,000 years ago, 7 top-level demonic sects formed an alliance, waging war and sweeping across half of the southern wilderness cultivation realm. Among these 7 demonic forces was the Immortal Lotus sect. Logically, the Immortal Lotus sect was quite far from the Jin Kingdom, spanning several cultivation nations. Why would they come to the Five Poisons cult? "Let's go, Yao Yao." Nangong Meili coldly called out, urging her daughter to follow. "Goodbye, daddy." Nangong Yao Yao, seemingly afraid of angering her mother, secretly transmitted a message, then waved her hand. "MHM." Lu Changxing responded with a smile, planning to later ask Meng Xiaochan if she knew what was up with the Immortal Lotus sect. A moment later, Meng Xiaochan returned and informed Lu Changxing that she had already sent people to investigate Lu Quanzhen's whereabouts. Not only through the channels of the Five Poisons cult, but also sending people to other marketplaces to purchase intelligence on Lu Quanzhen. "All right, thank you for your hard work, Xiaochan." Lu Changxing nodded, then asked, "Xiaochan, do you know why the Immortal Lotus sect is coming to the Five Poisons cult?" "The Immortal Lotus sect is coming to the Five Poisons cult?" Meng Xiaochan was taken aback, unaware of the matter. Upon seeing this, Lu Changxing did not pursue the matter further. He planned to inquire later with Nangong Meili or his daughter Nangong Yao Yao. 3 days later, Lu Changxing felt a surge of dense mana appear out of thin air. Through the system he saw his son Lu Quanzhen broke through to the 8th layer of Foundation establishment. This speed was beyond astonishing, utterly shocking. Looking at the system panel, seeing his son's lifespan reduced by another 13 years, he realized there was definitely a problem, a big problem. At this moment, Meng Xiaochan came with news for Lu Changxing. 3 months ago, Lu Quanzhen appeared at a black market on Black Demon Mountain, then his identity was exposed, leading to an assassination attempt. Moreover, there were rumors that the Ghost Demon True Master had emerged from seclusion, personally leading the chase against Lu Quanzhen. The Ghost Demon True Master personally took action? Upon hearing this, Lu Changxing's eyes slightly narrowed, realizing his son was in grave danger now. His reckless cultivation advancement was most likely linked to the Ghost Demon True Master. Is there any intelligence on the whereabouts of the Ghost Demon True Master? Lu Changxing immediately inquired. If Lu Quanzhen kept advancing recklessly, severe problems would surely arise. "I have already dispatched people to investigate the movements of the Ghost Demon True Master, but it will take some time." Meng Xiaochan gently bit her lip, sensing Lu Changxing's worry. "Where is the largest intelligence organization here in Jin Kingdom?" "They'll go directly." Lu Changxing took a deep breath and stated directly. Given his son's situation, he no longer had the patience to wait around for information. Lu Lang can head to the ancient secluded Immortal City and purchase related intelligence from the Shadow Tower there. Meng Xiaochan immediately suggested, introducing the situation of this Immortal City to Lu Changxing. The fact that Lu Quanzhen appeared near Black Demon Mountain indicated he might be in the vicinity of that area. "All right, I'll head over. If you receive any information, immediately crush the jade talisman I gave you, and it'll return at once." Lu Changxing nodded, speaking in a deep tone. He then quickly left the Immortal Spider Marketplace, released the golden-winged Heavenly Peng, and looked at the map, rushing towards the ancient secluded immortal city at top speed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1401, 5 Poisons Cult. Amidst the swirling clouds and mist, on a mountain peak vibrant with colors, stood a temple resembling an emerald poison scorpion lying in wait. The great hall was strange and magnificent, filled with an aura of grandeur and antiquity, square in shape and covered with multicolored vines. Among the vines and trees, many snakes, insects, centipedes and spiders crawled, making rustling, unsettling sounds that enveloped the entire hall in a mysterious and unpredictable atmosphere. Tap, tap, tap. At this moment, figures with solemn expressions and respectful demeanors ascended the jade steps, arriving before the temple. Mother. Today, Nangong Yaoyao's attire was entirely different from usual. A simple purple dress embroidered with snakes, scorpions, spiders and butterflies. Her jade neck, snow-white hands, slender waist, and ankles were all adorned with exquisitely designed multicolored silver jewelry. Her long, black, glossy hair was braided into intricate plaits, and she wore an ancient, heavy silver crown, lending her an air of enigmatic mystery. This was the attire of the 5 Poisons cult, only worn on significant occasions. Nangong Meili and other cultivators of the 5 Poisons cult were dressed similarly. However, compared to her daughter Nangong Yaoyao, Nangong Meili's dress and silver accessories were even more elaborate, luxurious and heavy. Don't be nervous. Nangong Meili smiled at her daughter, indicating she needn't worry. Yet despite her words, she herself was a bit anxious. After all, what was about to happen might affect her daughter's future. Come in. A moment later, a crisp, youthful voice filled with authority resonated from within the hall. Yes. These people immediately bowed, then whispered a few words to the young men and women beside them, entering the hall with full respect and solemnity. The hall was vast and profound, with walls depicting lifelike goo insects, snakes, scorpions and poison beasts, permeated with an indescribable scent of goo poison, causing their own goo insects to become particularly active at this moment. Greetings to the sect hierarch, greetings to the White Lotus True Monarch. Greetings to the sect hierarch, greetings to the White Lotus True Monarch. Greetings to the sect hierarch, greetings to the White Lotus True Monarch. Upon entering the deep recesses of the hall, they immediately saw above, seated, a girl of 7 or 8 with a jade-like face, delicate and exquisite, and a figure like a goddess, seemingly bathed in holy light. However, they dared not look too closely, and upon entering they swiftly bowed, fearing to show disrespect. True Monarch. At this point, the 5 Poisons cult leader looked at the White Lotus True Monarch beside her, speaking with a touch of reverence. Though both were nascent soul true lords. Even among nascent soul there are ranks and distinctions. For a nascent soul cultivator like White Lotus True Monarch, even as merely an elder of the Immortal Lotus sect, her status, position, and strength were not something the leader of a cult like her could compare to. No need for excessive formalities, raise your heads. The White Lotus True Monarch's voice was like a gentle breeze, or like distant white clouds, soft and graceful, calming and refreshing, giving all the cultivators present a sense of relief, making their minds and bodies feel light and naturally serene. Is this the means of the Immortal Lotus sect? The cultivators of the 5 Poisons cult present naturally understood many strange and unorthodox methods. Through these captivating and alluring words, they realized the terror of the White Lotus True Monarch. A mere gesture could capture one's mental spirit. Is this the sect hierarch and the White Lotus True Monarch? Nangong Yaoyao slowly raised her head, only then seeing clearly the appearance of her own sect hierarch and this envoy of the Immortal Lotus sect. Though she was a disciple of the 5 Poisons cult, and her mother was the heavenly spider envoy of the 5 Poisons cult, it was her first time seeing the 5 Poisons cult leader. However, she already knew what the cult leader looked like, so she wasn't too surprised. But when she looked at the White Lotus True Monarch, her expression froze, somewhat bewildered. The White Lotus True Monarch was exceedingly beautiful, an illusion of beauty like a celestial being. Her white lotus long dress outlined endless graceful curves, and her skin was as snow-white as ice, emanating an indescribable dignified holiness. Her face, jade-like body, every inch of skin, even every strand of hair was exuding a flawless white sheen, as if bathed in a veil of holy light. At the moment she saw her, Nangong Yaoyao felt a holy aura coming straight towards her. Her physical body and her soul at this moment seemed filled with impurity, wanting to kneel before her to purify her soul. Not only her, but other cultivators of the five poisons cult, even Nangong Meili felt a slight daze and a surge of inexplicable agitation upon seeing the White Lotus True Monarch. However, being core formation true man, they soon regained clarity, and a wave of shock surged within their hearts. It was too strange. The White Lotus True Monarch was truly too strange. Just sitting still, a single glance could influence their mental spirit. At this moment, they gained some understanding of the terror that was the Immortal Lotus sect. The White Lotus True Monarch had a faintly discernible holy smile at the corner of her lips, scrutinizing the people before her. When her gaze fell upon Nangong Yaoyao, her crystalline holy eyes flickered with ripples, her expression filled with wonder, eyebrows like painted moths, eyes shining with stars, fragrant skin and jade-like complexion, carved from jade, immensely charming, utterly magnificent, radiant as spring blossoms. How can one person possess so many beautiful features? Wait, national beauty and heavenly fragrance. This is the aspect of national beauty and heavenly fragrance, merging various beautiful features. The White Lotus True Monarch looked at Nangong Yaoyao before her, examining her brows, eyes and facial features, her slender jade-like body, her beautiful eyes filled with a look of joyful surprise. This was not merely praising Nangong Yaoyao's beauty, but the observation skill of the Immortal Lotus sect. The cultivation technique of the Immortal Lotus sect placed great emphasis on appearance, even categorizing human appearance into ranks, such as flower-like looks, fresh as a lotus emerging from water, a face like a peach blossom, divine and bone-charming elegance, and icy skin and jade-like complexion, among others. Possessing any one of these beautiful features with charming technique cultivation would lead to achieving twice the result with half the effort and becoming a disciple of the Immortal Lotus sect. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1402. If one possesses various beautiful features, especially the higher tier features, it greatly aligns with the Immortal Lotus sect's traditions. Among these features, the exceptional beauty is paramount, a crown among the blossoms reigning supreme. Such a rare find even for the Immortal Lotus sect is something hard to come by. Too beautiful, truly too beautiful. Not only does she possess exceptional beauty, but she also has a spiritual body. Her entire being is flawless, pure and immaculate, her body fragrant. This is the flawless heavenly fragrance body. She kept observing Nangong Yaoyao before her, her beautiful eyes full of admiration and delight. Unexpectedly, on this journey, she encountered a candidate with exceptional beauty. If she were accepted as a disciple and taken back to the sect for proper cultivation, she would become a nascent soul seed for her branch. With such talent, this girl might even compete for the position of Holy Maiden in the future after breaking through nascent soul. The only regret she felt was that Nangong Yaoyao had already broken through foundation establishment. If she hadn't started cultivating or just begun, she would be impeccable. Beside her, the Five Poisons cult leader, dressed in a purple and red skirt and barefooted, followed White Lotus True Monarch's gaze to look at Nangong Yaoyao, her expression somewhat astonished. She was somewhat aware of Nangong Yaoyao's situation. 3 days ago, Nangong Meili reported the matter of the wind centipede emissary to her. She stated that her daughter had the flawless heavenly fragrance body, hence she encountered the wind centipede emissary's attack. Initially she intended to speak favorably of Nangong Yaoyao, but didn't expect the White Lotus True Monarch to immediately take a liking to her. But even the flawless heavenly fragrance body wouldn't cause this true monarch to display such an expression, right? What is your name? Surrounded by a halo of holy light, White Lotus True Monarch approached Nangong Yaoyao, speaking softly. Replying to True Monarch, "My name is Nangong Yaoyao." Facing this White Lotus True Monarch, for some reason, Nangong Yaoyao felt a sense similar to when she first saw her father's true appearance. Like being in a refreshing spring breeze, a feeling of closeness and no sense of oppressive might. She understood that this was the charm technique cultivated to the state of being one with oneself. Nangong Yaoyao. White Lotus True Monarch smiled and said, "You should join my Immortal Lotus sect. Are you willing to be my disciple?" What? This? With these words, everyone present was astonished, looking at Nangong Yaoyao with incredulity. No one expected that in such a short moment, the White Lotus True Monarch would want to accept Nangong Yaoyao as a disciple. It's well known in the cultivation world, the master-disciple relationship is no trivial matter, symbolizing inheritance. Although many demonic path cultivators take disciples with ulterior motives. But the White Lotus true monarch here is a nascent soul true lord. The cultivator of this caliber, whose words carry great weight, would unlikely do such a thing under the guise of accepting a disciple. At this moment, several core formation true men looked enviously at Nangong Meili. Nangong Yaoyao being noticed by White Lotus true monarch and accepted as a disciple would likely elevate Nangong Meili's status as the heavenly spider emissary in the Five Poisons cult. Other Qi refinement and foundation establishment disciples also looked at Nangong Yaoyao with envy and jealousy. Because everyone knows that coming here today is like a fish jumping the dragon gate. A chance. If noticed by White Lotus true monarch and admitted into the Immortal Lotus sect, becoming a bridge between the two sects, it equates to gaining the core formation opportunity, and in high probability, reaching core formation in the future. But Nangong Yaoyao was not only noticed by White Lotus true monarch but also proactively accepted as a disciple by her. What kind of fortuity is this? This is an unparalleled opportunity. Even Nangong Meili at this moment was in a daze, wondering if she heard correctly. After all, she was only confident her daughter could be selected for the Immortal Lotus sect, not expecting White Lotus true monarch to directly take a liking and speak of accepting her as a disciple. Being favored by true monarch, it is Yaoyao's great fortune. I wonder what virtue and ability does Yaoyao possess to be noticed by true monarch? Nangong Yaoyao lightly pressed her tender lips, her expression joyful, excited yet a little fearful and speechless. Little girl's disposition is quite admirable. Facing my acceptance, she doesn't immediately agree. White Lotus true monarch saw that Nangong Yaoyao wasn't as outwardly joyous and fearful as she appeared, but was actually questioning the purpose behind her acceptance. However, she didn't mind this and even nodded approvingly. After all, for White Lotus true monarch, accepting disciples is about talent and appearance, and also testing the heart and nature. But as Nangong Yaoyao possessed a spiritual body and had exceptional beauty, once taken back to the sect, all other nascent soul true lords might compete with her. So she bypassed the test of nature and directly spoke of acceptance. Do you know anything about the Immortal Lotus sect? White Lotus true monarch, with a face of unmatched grace, her body radiating a dignified and concrete holy light, very sacred. The mortal world is like a prison. All living beings suffer, reincarnation never ceases, troubles never end, pity for the people, the lotus descends from heaven, escaping the sea of suffering, eternal peace, Lotus Holy Mother, true ethereal homeland. Nangong Yaoyao immediately bowed, a face full of respect, sincerely said. He. White Lotus true monarch wore a faint holy smile, chuckled lightly, her voice seemingly close yet like coming from afar. Although the doctrine is so, she knew that her Immortal Lotus sect's image in the hearts of the Five Poisons cult and other demonic sections. My Immortal Lotus sect accepts disciples differently from other sects, valuing not only spiritual root talent but also appearance and features. White Lotus true monarch's voice was delicate, serene and comfortable, slowly said, features rank in levels and among various beautiful features, the exceptional beauty is paramount. You have the exceptional beauty. She looked at Nangong Yaoyao and said, exceptional beauty? The cultivators present, while knowing of the Immortal Lotus sect, had little knowledge of it. Hearing this now, they realized it had something to do with appearance and looks. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1403. The appearance of Nangong Yaoyao in front of them is indeed flawless, with unparalleled beauty, admired by countless disciples of the Five Poisons cult. But merely being noticed for her looks by a nascent soul true lord is somewhat excessive, isn't it? Upon hearing this, Nangong Meili's emotions surged with excitement. She was confident that her daughter would join the Immortal Lotus sect, knowing that her daughter's spiritual body was compatible with it. But she never imagined that the Immortal Lotus sect would also assess appearances. And her daughter turned out to be the foremost among appearances. At this moment, a pride unlike any other welled up within her. After all, this was her daughter who perfectly inherited her peerless beauty. And your spiritual body combined with this heavenly appearance is a natural match, perfectly fitting for the inheritance of our Immortal Lotus sect, which is why I am also quite fond of you. White Lotus true monarch smiled serenely and charmingly, her voice filled with poetic beauty, evoking an instinctive good feeling. Spiritual body. Cultivators present heard these words, their expressions suddenly clearing. They realized that Nangong Yaoyao's spiritual body was far from ordinary. Only thus could a nascent soul true lord speak of taking her as a disciple. Hidden really well. They looked at Nangong Meili, pondering in their hearts. All these years they had never heard talk of Nangong Yaoyao's spiritual body. Heavenly appearance. Nangong Yaoyao herself was also a bit surprised. She didn't expect her appearance to match the inheritance of the immortal lotus sect. Moreover, this white lotus true monarch said her spiritual body and heavenly appearance were a perfect match. Did she see her spiritual body at a glance? To know, when she was young, her mother had found an exotic treasure to conceal her spiritual body, making it impossible for others to see. Heavenly appearance, does that mean my mother is also like this? She said with a joyful and astonished expression, looking towards her mother, Nangong Meili. Mother? White Lotus True Monarch discerned the meaning in Nangong Yaoyao's words, reluctant to part from her mother. Your mother indeed possesses various beautiful appearances, surpassing in charm, brilliant, stunning in beauty, but lacks the heavenly appearance. She glanced at Nangong Meili, her voice gentle and calm, commenting. The Nangong Meili before her indeed had excellent looks, possessing various beautiful appearances. If she had joined their immortal lotus sect in her early years, she might have had boundless potential and could have been a true inheritor. But now that Nangong Meili had already formed a core, even if she joined the immortal lotus sect, she could only be part of the outer sect. And her visit to the Five Poisons cult this time wasn't to recruit people. How could she take someone else's nascent soul cultivator away? Moreover, Nangong Yaoyao was already an adult, and she wanted to take her as a disciple, for complete dedication to the immortal lotus sect, requiring less contact with relatives. True monarch, Yaoyao has now broken through foundation establishment. If she becomes your disciple, will there be any effects? Nangong Yaoyao gently pursed her lips and continued to speak, looking somewhat apprehensive. Your cultivation technique is also in line with our immortal lotus sect. As long as you are willing to become my disciple, I can make an exception to open the immortal lotus pool for you, cleanse the mundane, refine your Tao foundation, and perfectly turn your cultivation to our immortal lotus sect's inheritance. White Lotus True Monarch heard that the girl was negotiating for herself, and she did not mind. On one hand, such a talent indeed warrants her resource investment in nurturing. On the other, in her view, knowing to seek benefits for oneself is a good thing. In the cultivation world, what doesn't require you to fight for? Those who are strong remain strong. Only by daring to fight must one fight, can climb to the peak of the immortal path. If timid and weak, mediocre in character, choosing to become a disciple in ignorance, she might look down upon it. Moreover, her visit to the Five Poisons cult was to lay out future plans. In the event of a future great tribulation, her disciples must dare to fight. Only thus can they emerge in the future great tribulation, becoming the holy maiden of the immortal lotus sect, securing enough benefits for her white lotus lineage. However, the other cultivators present saw that Nangong Yaoyao, when faced with the offer to become a disciple of the true monarch, hesitated and asked conditions, wiping a sweat out of nervousness for her. Feeling the girl was unappreciative, yet also bold and audacious, filled with demon nature. Yaoyao. Nangong Meili called out anxiously, fearing her daughter would continue to delay and offend the White Lotus True Monarch. After all, the Immortal Lotus sect is originally a demon path sect, extremely treacherous. Present before them was the White Lotus True Monarch, a demon true man yet exuding a holy light as if purifying others' bodies and souls, also full of evil intent. She was truly afraid her daughter would anger her. If she were to act against her daughter, even as her mother, she couldn't stop her. Yaoyao was momentarily anxious and curious. Please don't blame her, master. Upon hearing this, Nangong Yaoyao quickly turned around and said. In her words, she promptly knelt before the White Lotus True Monarch, solemnly performing the disciple ceremony. Disciple Nangong Yaoyao pays respects to master. How is this wrong? Taking on disciples is not a one-sided word. White Lotus True Monarch said with a smile, extending a hand glowing with holy white light to gently lift Nangong Yaoyao up, saying, Since you are willing to be my disciple, upon returning to the sect, this master will hold a disciple ceremony for you. For a nascent soul true monarch like her to take on disciples, it is naturally no small matter and requires informing the sect. Besides this, she also intended to assess Nangong Yaoyao further, to see the specific temperament of the other, and decide if she would be an ordinary disciple, or an intimate true inheritor, whether to hold a grand disciple ceremony. Thank you, master. Nangong Yaoyao immediately responded with a face of obedient compliance. However, everyone present knew that this girl was not as innocent and carefree as she appeared on the surface. Five Poisons True Monarch, thanks to your luck, I have accepted an excellent disciple, These few individuals I will take to the Immortal Lotus sect, and in time, the two families may visit frequently. At this time, White Lotus True Monarch looked to the Five Poisons cult leader beside her. Though these individuals were intended for her selection, to be taken to the Immortal Lotus sect. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1404. But her choice to take in apprentices had a different meaning. To repay this favor she brought everyone along. Thank you, True Monarch. The others, upon hearing this, were overjoyed, never expecting that they would all be chosen. True Monarch is too courteous. The young girl smiled and said. Those who were brought along were all disciples with deep roots in the Five Poisons cult, carrying profound emotions. Even if they joined Immortal Lotus sect with their hearts inclined towards it in the future, they still had family and elders in the Five Poisons cult. Therefore there would be some ties between the two sects in the future. Afterwards she looked at Nangong Meili dressed in a purple gown and said, Heavenly Spider Envoy, you have given birth to a good daughter. Now that Nangong Yaoyao had become a disciple under White Lotus True Monarch, her importance to Nangong Meili rose a level higher. That Yaoyao could become a disciple under the True Monarch is her fortune. Nangong Meili replied respectfully. You possess various talents and are destined to have a connection with our Immortal Lotus sect. Here is a cultivation technique inheritance and a magical treasure for you. If you succeed in your cultivation in the future, you can come to the Immortal Lotus sect, and I will bestow upon you another opportunity. Hearing this, White Lotus True Monarch looked at Nangong Meili, raised her jade hand lightly, and placed a cultivation technique inheritance and a pure white lotus in front of her. Since she intended to take in apprentices, she naturally wanted to leave a good impression on both sides. Of course, this inheritance and magical treasure also served as a message to Nangong Meili, indicating that before her cultivation took shape, she shouldn't come to Immortal Lotus sect seeking her own disciple. Thank you, True Monarch. Nangong Meili understood the meaning behind this and dared not refuse, accepting the jade slip and treasure with respect. My disciple, say farewell to your family and friends. White Lotus True Monarch looked at Nangong Yaoyao, then at the others and said indifferently, You all can go as well. Thank you, Master. Thank you, True Monarch. Nangong Yaoyao and the other five respectfully saluted. Afterwards, these people looked at Nangong Yaoyao, all carrying a fawning expression. Even though previously in the Five Poisons cult, their status was on par with Nangong Yaoyao. But now that Nangong Yaoyao was taken as a disciple by White Lotus True Monarch, there was a vast difference in their identities. Mother, Yaoyao won't be able to accompany you from now on. After Nangong Yaoyao and Nangong Meili walked out of the main hall, her eyes turned slightly red as she spoke. You've been intelligent and understanding since childhood, but upon going to Immortal Lotus sect, you must speak and act with caution and earn the True Monarch's favor. Nangong Meili's eyes were also red, her face full of reluctance. Her daughter was raised by her side since childhood, the longest separation being her recent journey to the Tianyuan secret realm. Having just returned from Jiang country, she now had to part with her daughter again. And who knows how long it will be before they reunite. Mother, I also wish to bid farewell to father. Nangong Yaoyao lightly bit her lip, looking at her mother. All right, mother will take you there. Nangong Meili did not scold her daughter, and directly summoned a magical treasure, taking her daughter headlong towards the Immortal Spider Marketplace, lest they delay White Lotus True Monarch's time. Nangong Meili and her daughter Nangong Yaoyao arrived at the Immortal Spider Marketplace, only to discover that Lu Changxing had left. Ancient secluded Immortal City? What is he doing going to ancient secluded Immortal City? Nangong Meili frowned slightly, voicing her thoughts. The Chu Changtian wanted by the Ghost Demon True Master is Lu Lang's son. Lu Lang heard that Ghost Demon True Master personally went to hunt down Chu Changtian, so he planned to go to ancient secluded Immortal City to find the Shadow Tower to purchase intelligence on Ghost Demon True Master, hoping to locate Chu Changtian. Explained Meng Xiaochan. Ha. Nangong Yaoyao was stunned and somewhat bewildered. Unexpectedly, the black-robed youth with the six-winged golden silkworm was her half-brother? That Chu Changtian is my brother? She looked at Meng Xiaochan in astonishment. Indeed, his real name is Lu Chuanjin, Lu Lang's son. Meng Xiaochan shook her head with a wry smile, then said softly, Yaoyao, I told Lu Lang about this and we didn't know his identity back then, so when you meet him in the future, just apologize. Lu Chuanjin? How many sons and daughters does this useless man have? Nangong Meili was also somewhat surprised. She had heard about the events concerning Chu Changtian from Meng Xiaochan in the past and had paid a little attention, knowing this person's extraordinary prowess. As a loose cultivator, despite being wanted by Ghost Demon True Master, he not only remained unscathed but even rose powerfully. Unexpectedly, he was also Lu Changsheng's son. Back in Jiang country, she had dug into Lu Changsheng's detailed information. She knew he had a body refining genius son, named Lu Pingan, who reached near third-rank body refining in just 60 years, a truly astonishing feat. He also had a daughter named Lu Wangshu, who inherited this useless man's so-called talismanic inheritance, and shortly after breaking through to Foundation Establishment, defeated 6 Foundation Establishment cultivators alone. Even if these 6 were mere weaklings at Foundation Establishment, it was still quite remarkable. Besides these 2, she learned that Lu Changxing had another son named Lu Qingshan. This son was exceptionally talented in the sword Dao, joined Yu country's Jinyang sect, and once went to the Heavenly Sword sect to challenge their sword, emerging unmatched among peers. In this circumstance there was now another son named Lu Chuanjin. Counting her own daughter Nangong Yaoyao, this useless man seems to have struck a streak of incredible luck to have so many prodigious offspring. Imagine an ordinary family with just one such child could thrive for 100 years. With 5 at once, not even an ancestral grave erupting would be this exaggerated, would it? Even if this useless man possesses an unparalleled Taoist body, isn't this overly exaggerated? Besides, isn't his Taoist body supposed to specialize in dual cultivation? Why is his fertility also so astonishing? Nangong Meili murmured to herself. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1405. She had long suspected that Lu Changxing possessed a rare Taoist body. Especially after seeing Lu Changxing break through core formation, she was even more convinced of it. But the more she understood Lu Changxing, the more bewildered she became, unable to see through him. She felt that even a Taoist body couldn't explain this troublesome man's situation. This troublesome? How long has it been since Lu Changxing left? Send a message for him to come quickly. Nangong Meili didn't think much, her face cold and striking. She immediately said. Although she didn't want Lu Changxing to have contact with her daughter, she felt that since her daughter was about to leave for the Immortal Lotus sect, she should bid farewell to him. Yes, master. Meng Xiaochan saw her master's urgent expression and didn't ask further, immediately crushing the jade talisman given to her by Lu Changxing. Sister Xiaochan, I will soon be heading to the Immortal Lotus sect. I came this time to say goodbye to you. At this moment, Nangong Yaoyao looked at Meng Xiaochan and spoke softly. Although she always called Meng Xiaochan sister, in her heart, the other also held a mother-like presence. In daily care and affection she received no less than from her mother Nangong Meili. Going to the Immortal Lotus sect? Meng Xiaochan was surprised. Only the higher-ups of the 5 Poisons cult knew about the arrival of the White Lotus True Monarch. Even Meng Xiaochan was unaware of this matter. Yes. Nangong Yaoyao gently pursed her pink lips and briefly explained the matter of the White Lotus True Monarch. Meng Xiaochan paused for a moment, then squeezed out a few smiles, saying with reluctance, Yaoyao, congratulations. Once you go to the Immortal Lotus sect, you must take good care of yourself. She gently stroked the girl's black silky hair, advising softly. Even though she knew the girl was very intelligent, she was still very worried. After all, in all these years, Nangong Yaoyao had never left her or Nangong Meili. Don't worry, Sister Xiaochan. Nangong Yaoyao said with a smile, not with the usual cute and obedient look, but rather bright and charming. Meng Xiaochan looked at the girl in the purple dress in front of her, as if she had suddenly matured a lot. The 3 of them waited for Lu Changxing, chatting in the meantime. Then Nangong Yaoyao looked at her mother and said, Mother, there are some words that I originally shouldn't say. But since I'm going to the Immortal Lotus sect this time and I don't know when I'll see you again, I hope you can be happier. Nangong Yaoyao pursed her lips and spoke softly. It's nothing, Yaoyao, whatever you have to say, just say it, mother is listening. Nangong Meili's mood was somewhat low, but her eyes were full of affection. I may not know exactly what's going on between you and father, but I can guess a bit. Through these days of being together, I can see that father, although easygoing in nature, is actually very proud, and even if he feels indebted to you, he's unlikely to completely lower himself and apologize. Your character is similar in that you won't step back an inch either. I'm not asking you to forgive father, just hoping you can each take a step back. It would be good for both you and father. Nangong Yaoyao looked at her mother and spoke softly. Although she usually appeared innocently naive and clueless, It didn't mean she was truly simple-minded. She saw many things clearly and thoroughly. It's just that such an appearance can be deceiving, and she enjoyed being the eternal child before her mother. Nangong Mili's jade-like face momentarily froze, then she gently caressed her daughter's cheek with some relief, nodding, "All right, mother will listen to Yao Yao. Actually, father is quite easy to appease, mother, you just need to say a few nice words." Of course, Yao Yao knows mother won't say it, but father feels guilty towards mother, so as long as mother slightly lowers herself, father will probably realize it, be willing to back down a bit, and then mother needs to step back just a bit more. Nangong Yao Yao linked arms with her mother, restoring her usual innocent and lively demeanor, pinching the air between her thumb and index finger, speaking in a somewhat coquettish tone. All right, at this moment Nangong Mili also felt that her daughter had grown up. Pinching her fair cheek, she said smiling. On the side, Meng Xiaochan was somewhat anxious hearing this. She thought to herself that only Nangong Yao Yao dared to say these words. If someone else said it, Master would definitely be furious. However, she felt that something unknown must have happened between Master and Lu Lang during this trip to Jiang country, as her attitude had changed. No one knew how long had passed when Nangong Mili looked at her anxious-looking daughter and softly said, "Yao Yao, it's time to go back." Nangong Yao Yao didn't speak, and after a while she looked at Meng Xiaochan with a bit of loss and said, "Sister Xiaochan, please give this jade slip to father at the right time." "All right, Yao Yao, rest assured." Meng Xiaochan took a deep breath and nodded, but inwardly she sighed a little. Nangong Yao Yao's trip to the Immortal Lotus sect might mean she won't be back for decades, and returning isn't easy. Lu Lang had just reunited with Yao Yao, but now they have to separate again, not knowing when they will meet next. "Let's go, mother." Nangong Yao Yao said to her mother, not wanting to delay any longer. Even though the White Lotus True Monarch valued her greatly, delaying too long might leave a bad impression. "All right." Just as the two were stepping out of the Immortal Spider Marketplace, a figure suddenly descended from above. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1406. Lu Changxing hurried back to the Immortal Spider Marketplace and saw Nangong Mili and Nangong Yao Yao in their intricate purple dresses. He was slightly taken aback and quickly called out, "Yao Yao, Mili? Daddy." Upon hearing this, Nangong Yao Yao's expression was full of delight. Nangong Mili beside her was also startled, feeling relieved in her heart. "Yao Yao, what brings you here?" Lu Changxing noticed something rushed in Nangong Mili and his daughter's expressions. "Daddy, I came here to say goodbye to you." Nangong Yao Yao tightly clasped her dress, lightly biting her lip as she spoke. "Goodbye?" Lu Changxing furrowed his brows slightly. He had only recently arrived in the Jin Kingdom. Why was his daughter already saying goodbye? Yesterday, an envoy from the Immortal Lotus sect, White Lotus True Monarch, accepted me as a disciple. I will soon be heading to the Immortal Lotus sect, so I can't stay by your and mother's side anymore. The girl in the purple dress raised her delicate head slightly, her star-like beautiful eyes turning red. Immortal Lotus sect. White Lotus True Monarch. Lu Changxing had initially wanted to ask why the Immortal Lotus sect came to the Five Poisons cult. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, his daughter was chosen by the nascent soul true lord of the Immortal Lotus sect and taken as a disciple. Nangong Yao Yao pressed her tender lips together, briefly explaining the situation of the Immortal Lotus sect. Then, with a bright smile, she assured her father not to worry and that she would take good care of herself. Sigh. Lu Changxing let out a sigh. In fact, for his daughter to join the Immortal Lotus sect and become a disciple of a nascent soul true lord was a good thing for him. This indicated that his daughter would undoubtedly form her core in the future, and there was a considerable chance of breaking through to nascent soul. But going to such a sect affiliated with the demons, he ultimately felt uneasy. Yet the matter had been settled, and he was unable to change it. "Daddy, don't be sad. Once Yao Yao's cultivation is fruitful, he'll come back to visit you and mother." The girl glanced around, her smile blossoming like a flower as she spoke. While speaking, she reached out her slender lily-white hand, holding Lu Changxing's hand, moving beside her mother, and said innocently, "Yao Yao's only hope is that when I return, he'll see you and mother living in harmony." Then she held her mother's fair hand, placing both hands together. "All right." Lu Changxing chuckled softly, thinking what father wouldn't love such an understanding little girl? This moment, Nangong Mili didn't resist. She didn't curse Lu Changxing, nor did she fling his hand away, allowing her daughter to do so. Afterward, Nangong Yao Yao felt as though something was still missing. She pondered slightly and quietly said to Lu Changxing, "Daddy, now is not the time to use disguise and camouflage." Lu Changxing was taken aback and laughed silently, his elegant, handsome face flowing with chaos energy, revealing his true self. "If Daddy wishes to join the Immortal Lotus sect, maybe even the sect's supreme elder would accept you as a disciple." Nangong Yaoyao, looking at her father whose demeanor was as radiant as jade, as handsome as an immortal, blinked playfully and teased. Though she said it jokingly, it wasn't entirely a jest. Mainly because Lu Changsheng's aura was so extraordinary. Like an elegant orchid, a banished immortal appearing in the world, making people feel as if bathed in spring breeze, captivating hearts, evoking a sense of closeness. Next to him, Nangong Mili, although displeased with Lu Changxing, also recognized her daughter's words. Though Lu Changxing's aura might not be as sanctified as that of White Lotus True Monarch, directly touching others' bodies and souls, yet he was not far off. Previously in the Tianyuan secret realm, she was influenced by this man's demeanor. In her view, with his character, should he break through to nascent soul in the future, his charm might even surpass that of White Lotus True Monarch. "Yao Yao, when you reach the Immortal Lotus sect, you must take good care of yourself. If you encounter any troubles, endure patiently and write to me." Lu Changxing smiled, gently and warmly patting his daughter's head. Then he took out a thick stack of talismans from his storage ring and said, "When you travel outside, be careful. You're lacking in means, these talismans can serve as your protection." "Daddy?" Nangong Yaoyao was stunned by so many talismans. Previously in the Myriad Beasts mountain range, Lu Changxing had said her offensive techniques were somewhat lacking and suggested she keep more talismans for protection, giving her a stack back then. Now he gave her another thick stack, amounting to 40 or 50 talismans. Moreover, they appeared to be second-rank top-level and third-rank talismans. Nangong Mili beside him was also surprised at Lu Changxing's generosity. After all, third-rank talismans were rare. Even she found it difficult to procure 10s of them at once. So, is this man truly a talisman cultivator? Nangong Mili glanced at Lu Changxing with astonished beautiful eyes. Within these are the complete 6 Desires Heart Demon technique, which you must carefully study during cultivation. Be patient and not rush. Also, this cultivation technique named Immortal Beauty Technique, it will aid you on your journey to the Immortal Lotus sect. If necessary, you may submit it to the sect in exchange for benefits. Lu Changxing then took out 2 jade slips, handing them to his daughter. He had previously taught her the first 2 levels of the 6 Desires Heart Demon technique. Now, since she was about to head to the Immortal Lotus sect, he withheld nothing. As for the Immortal Beauty technique, given her daughter's looks, she might not need it. But since the Immortal Lotus sect valued this aspect, he thought he would try to provide some assistance to his daughter. If it didn't work, the benefits from exchanging this cultivation technique at the sect should be significant. "Daddy?" Nangong Yaoyao's eyes looked dazed, clearly feeling her father's selfless love, deeply touched. "It's alright, going to the Immortal Lotus sect doesn't mean you can't come back. If you don't have time, your mother and I can visit you at the Immortal Lotus sect." Lu Changxing smiled and said, glancing at Nangong Mili again, squeezing her smooth hand. "Yes, Yao Yao, you should accept it. Your mother can also come to the Immortal Lotus sect to visit you in the future." Nangong Mili didn't pull away from Lu Changxing, echoing his words, her beautiful eyes full of love. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1407. Seeing Lu Changxing's genuine affection for his daughter, with no ulterior motives, her opinion of Lu Changxing changed somewhat. She thought that if this dog of a man wasn't so full of sweet talk and inclined towards lust, he might not be so bad. The young girl saw that her parents' relationship had eased considerably, her smile was as beautiful as a flower. Then, full of apologies, she said to Lu Changxing, "Daddy, I already know about Chuanzhen brother's situation. If you find him, please apologize on my behalf. Yao Yao didn't intend to hurt him back then. It's alright, no conflicts, no acquaintances. In the future, Daddy will introduce you both to each other." Lu Changxing said with a smile. "Mmm." Nangong Yaoyao nodded vigorously. Then she looked at her mother, batting her eyes, appearing pitifully. "Mom, if you have the time, please help look for Chuanzhen brother too. He's wanted by the ghost demon True Master and it's very dangerous." Nangong Mili knew her daughter was giving her an out, creating a chance to ease relations with Lu Changxing. In the past she absolutely wouldn't care. In fact, she thought if not killing Lu Changxing's son, that would already be pretty good, yet asking for help? But now, seeing her daughter's hopeful gaze, her beautiful phoenix eyes were full of gentle ripples. She nodded and agreed, "All right. Thank you, Mom." Nangong Yao Yao immediately said happily, "What's this about thanking your mom?" Nangong Mili's voice was gentle, her face full of doting affection, without the slightest trace of her old witch-like demeanor. However, when she looked at Lu Changxing, she immediately had a cold and noble expression. With an indifferent voice, "He'll take Yao Yao back and then send someone to investigate the information regarding Lu Chuanjin. If there's any news, they'll rush over immediately. You can continue on to the ancient secluded immortal city." Even if she had a somewhat changed view of Lu Changxing, she didn't show him a good face. "Alright, in that case, troubles you, Mili?" Lu Changxing didn't mind the attitude at all. Food should be eaten bite by bite. If it weren't for his daughter's words, even if this woman had melted a bit, she wouldn't be willing to help him find his son. But at this moment he also had a clear understanding of his daughter's weight in Nangong Mili's heart. He understood why Nangong Mili got so nervous, as if it were a reflex, when she heard he wanted to see his daughter. His daughter was indeed a reverse scale in her heart. Daddy, take care, Yao Yao will miss you." Nangong Yao Yao heard this and didn't say much more to Lu Changxing. Her trip to the immortal spider marketplace had already delayed her quite a while. "Alright, when Daddy and Mommy have time, we'll come visit you," Lu Changxing said seriously. As soon as he finished speaking, Nangong Mili swiftly shot off with her magical treasure, breaking through the sky and disappearing. Phew! Lu Changxing took a deep breath, exhaling long and full, feeling an unexplained melancholy in his heart. But thinking that he managed to come back in time to say goodbye to his daughter, he felt somewhat relieved. Otherwise, who knew how many years it would have been until they could see each other again. At this moment he thought of his children far away in Yu country's Jinyang sect. Now with the Tianyuan lotus he could transplant the abyssal ghoul blossom into the Tianyuan lotus upon returning home, and with Lu Miaoga and Lu Miaohuan head to Yu country to see his children. And having the golden-winged heavenly peng made travel to and from Yu country very convenient. Without thinking much more, Lu Changxing entered the marketplace. Knowing Meng Xiaochan had sent him a message about the daughter's farewell, he didn't say much. He just instructed her to relay Lu Quanzhen's information to Nangong Mili later, and if there was any news to directly inform Nangong Mili. Then he rode on the golden-winged heavenly peng to leave, heading towards the ancient secluded immortal city. On the purple flying band. "Yao Yao, Mom doesn't have much to give you, take this misty sky bead," Nangong Mili said to her daughter, momentarily not knowing what other gift to give. After all, her daughter didn't lack anything. Lu Changxing had mentioned his daughter lacked defensive capabilities. In reality, she already prepared many trump cards for her daughter. Except that previously, when Nangong Yao Yao went to the Myriad Beast mountain range with Lu Changxing, it was not appropriate to use these trump cards just for demon beast training. Moreover, her daughter had apprenticed to a nascent soul true lord and would not lack anything in the future. So she thought it through and decided to give the misty sky bead that Lu Changxing had given her to her daughter. Upon experiencing it, she knew this misty sky bead was very good for disguises. Ordinary nascent soul immortals wouldn't easily see through the disguise. With this misty sky bead, if her daughter was to train outside after entering the immortal lotus sect, it would be much more convenient. Misty sky bead? Nangong Yao Yao examined the egg-sized, gray bead shrouded in mist in front of her. Yes. Nangong Mili erased the markings from it, introducing the effects of the misty sky bead to her daughter. Toward the end of her explanation she added, "This misty sky bead is something your father gave to your mother, and now it's fitting to give it to you." "Something Daddy gave to Mommy?" The young girl blinked her eyes, arching her brows. Could this be Daddy's token of love for Mommy? Token of love? Nangong Mili was taken aback, feeling that there was indeed some truth to it. But recalling how that dog of a man changed his attitude completely because she was carrying their daughter, she huffed coldly and said, "It's merely an ordinary exotic treasure. Since it's Daddy's token of love to Mommy, how could I dare to take it?" Nangong Yao Yao grinned playfully, waving her hands in refusal. Yet, Nangong Mili still placed the misty sky bead in her hand and gave her some valuable heaven and earth spiritual materials from her storage ring for use in the immortal lotus sect, in case she ran out of spirit stones. A child traveling 1,000 miles inspires a mother's worry, wishing only for Pingon and all they could wish for. Even though Nangong Mili was heartless and cruel in many cultivators' eyes, facing her daughter Nangong Yao Yao, she was just a mother wanting to give the best to her daughter. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1408. At this moment inside the Netherworld Blood Evil Gourd. Lu Chuanjin sat cross-legged in the blood pool, his face twisted in pain and hideous, his body covered with strange black blood-colored patterns. Behind him, a Kunping demon shadow roared, its huge mouth like a black hole swallowing the surging demonic qi, ghost energy and blood liquid into its body, constantly refining them. But this energy clearly exceeded Lu Quanzhen's capacity, his eyes glowed with a crimson blood light, his black hair turning gray, the tips blood red, making him look like a demon head. Still not enough, far from enough. He could feel a demonic intent, ghostly qi and blood evil aura eroding his flesh and bones, even affecting his soul consciousness. If this continued, he would eventually have a problem and possibly go completely mad, becoming a human demon. But he had no way back now. If he stopped, although it could alleviate the situation, he would just be sitting and waiting to die, unable to escape the gourd. He had to keep enhancing his strength, waiting for the right moment. Waiting for the moment the ghost demon true master opened the gourd, or when he reached his absolute limit, then using the Kunping blood-burning technique as a final trump card for a desperate fight to break open the gourd. Ancient secluded immortal city. After arriving in the immortal city, Lu Changxing immediately headed straight to the Shadow Pavilion to purchase information related to Chu Changtian and the ghost demon true master. However, there wasn't much information about Chu Changtian, mostly similar to what Meng Xiaochan had previously gathered. After all, no matter how famous a foundation establishment cultivator was, it was impossible for someone to pay attention to them all the time. He then turned his attention to the intelligence about the ghost demon true master. Seeing that the ghost demon true master had left seclusion to personally hunt down Lu Chuanjin. He appeared 10 days ago in a place called Black Rock Mountain and was being chased by True Manjin Tian. Upon seeing this, he bought another intelligence report, only to learn that this True Manjin Tian was a loose cultivator, with extraordinary strength and an old adversary of the ghost demon true master, often waiting for the latter. It's too difficult to find someone through this intelligence information. Lu Changxing felt inexplicably annoyed looking at these intelligence reports. Without his own forces, relying solely on a spy network like the Shadow Pavilion, it was very hard to get real-time updates on Lu Chuanjin and the ghost demon true master's situation. Even if there was information about the two by the time the intelligence arrived, they would be long gone. I just hope Chuanjin is alright. Lu Changxing could only pray in his heart, then spent money to get the Shadow Pavilion to help find Lu Quanzhen's whereabouts. It must be said, the fees charged by such intelligence organizations were really expensive. To find Lu Chuanjin, a foundation establishment cultivator, whether there was a result or not, initially cost 30,000 spirit stones. If there was related information, the price would be set based on the level. Concerning his son's safety, Lu Changxing didn't skimp on the spirit stones and waited for the intelligence in the ancient secluded immortal city. 5 Poisons Cult. After her daughter and White Lotus True Monarch left, Nangong Meili also mobilized her forces to fully collect information on Chu Changtian and the ghost demon True Master. Several days later, she received a message that the ghost demon True Master was being blocked by True Manjin Tian in Black Fiend Valley. Old demon Jin Tian? Nangong Meili's beautiful eyes shone darkly, the light flowing. As a cultivator from the Jin Kingdom, he naturally knew the grudge between the ghost demon True Master and True Manjin Tian. Once in a secret realm, the ghost demon True Master severely tricked old demon Jin Tian and took his opportunity, creating a feud between them. Although old demon Jin Tian was stronger than the ghost demon True Master, he was cautious of the Yiming ghost sect, so he didn't dare kill the ghost demon True Master outright, often leaving him heavily injured. As a result, the ghost demon True Master spent decades in recuperation, with no progress in his cultivation level, becoming a laughingstock among the nascent soul immortals circle. Since that's the case, first determine if the ghost demon True Master has found this Lu Chuanjin. After a brief contemplation, Nangong Meili prepared to visit Black Fiend Valley. After all, finding the ghost demon True Master was far easier than finding Lu Chuanjin. If Lu Chuanjin hid in a mountain range or small town, unless she hired a divination master, finding his whereabouts would be as hard as reaching the heavens. It would be better to first ascertain Lu Quanzhen's situation through the ghost demon True Master. An eternally dark gorge. Boom, 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 a giant man as imposing as a tower stood tall, his every move causing terrifying shockwave attacks, toppling peaks, distorting the air and causing stone spires on the ground to rise and then explode into dust. Pfft. Hidden beneath the gorge, the ghost demon True Master groaned, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. He immediately performed the netherworld blood ghost escape, his whole being like a fleeting blood-colored ghostly shadow, disappearing without a trace. Old Ghostly, do you only know how to run? If you kneel now and kowtow 3 times to your grandfather here, I might feel charitable and let you off like a fart. True Manjin Tian, tall and imposing like a humanoid barbarian dragon, laughed loudly, his voice booming like thunder rolling through the heavens and earth. Although he was far stronger than the ghost demon True Master, killing the latter wasn't easy. Besides, the other was from the Yiming Ghost sect, so he couldn't actually kill the ghost demon True Master. After all, if he sought revenge and settled grudges, leaving him heavily injured, the Yiming Ghost sect wouldn't say anything, nor would they want to become his enemy for a ghost demon True Master. But if he killed the ghost demon True Master, the implications would be very different. It would be an outright slap in the face, a slap to the Yiming Ghost sect. If a nascent soul immortal from their sect was killed, and the sect couldn't avenge and regain its dignity, its reputation and prestige would suffer. So every time he cornered the ghost demon True Master, he left him heavily injured. Damn you, old Ghost Gentian, one day you'll strip your skin and tendons and forge them into the myriad soul banner. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1409. The ghost demon True Master was in a wretched state, furious and breathless, cursing through clenched teeth, but dared not pause, fleeing madly. For several decades, it wasn't the first time he had been cornered by the heaven-shaking old demon. He knew the other party was out to humiliate and severely injure him. He didn't know how long had been fleeing, but the ghost demon True Master's terrifying face turned pale, gasping for breath. Suddenly he sensed a strange aura. His expression was suspicious, and he immediately gestured with both hands, his whole being resembling a netherworld blood shadow, darted along the aura. Moments later, the ghost demon True Master saw a dark pool ahead, swirling with evil chi. Is this the eyes of nether killing? Upon seeing the pool, his expression turned to joy. He hadn't expected he'd be so lucky, encountering an eyes of nether killing here. This nether-killing spring could not only refine several core formation spiritual objects, Ming Sha Qi, but also nourish his blood evil gourd, allowing this magical treasure to further advance, ascending to a middle-grade magical treasure. Immediately, a pitch-black gourd appeared in his hand, intending to collect the eyes of nether killing into it. I wonder what happened to that boy. At this moment he remembered Lu Chuanjin, whom he had captured into his gourd. When the heaven-shaking true man appeared, the situation was urgent, so he had directly taken Lu Chuanjin into the gourd. Now, having calmed down, he recalled that an ordinary Foundation establishment cultivator entering his gourd wouldn't last more than 10 days before being dissolved into blood pulp. Considering the time, Lu Chuanjin had been inside the gourd for over half a month. If I let this boy die easily, it would be too cheap for him. As he opened the gourd instantly, his heart trembled, realizing something was off. Saw a blood-colored demon shadow rising skyward. Kunping blood-burning technique. Lu Quanzhen's eyes were crimson, hair ash-white, body enveloped in demonic qi, with a burst of blood light, suddenly shooting out from the blood-evil gourd, and immediately casting a third-rank talisman held in hand. Boom boom boom. The third-rank thunder talisman activated instantly. Even Lu Chuanjin the user was affected, enduring intense pain, spewing fresh blood. In this brief moment, he scattered prepared break technique needles, and then activated the substitute talisman within his sea of consciousness. This was one of his final trump cards. Buzz. The substitute talisman burned fiercely, transforming into a profound force enveloping Lu Chuanjin, forming a substitute puppet at the spot, then attempting to teleport away. Trying to escape. The ghost demon True Master faced the sudden third-rank thunder talisman and break technique needles, also caught off guard. But seeing Lu Chuanjin not only alive, but cultivation level surging, realizing the opponent held great fortunes and secrets, how could he let him escape? Immediately risking harm, spreading his law domain, suppressing Lu Quanzhen's escape. Kunping devouring heaven. At this moment, Lu Chuanjin was surging with magic aura, enveloped in demonic qi, almost rivaling a false core. Behind him, a roaring Kunping demon shadow, broke through the law domain resembling a parade of hundreds of ghosts or a netherworld hell. While this substitute talisman effect under the law domain was depleted, it could only fly away. Oldly ghost, so you're hiding here. At this moment, the towering figure, like an iron mountain, the heaven-shaking true man stood in the air, speaking in a thunderous voice. Seeing the flying Lu Chuanjun, his brows furrowed, his large hand grasped suddenly, like Five-Finger Mountain, holding Lu Chuanjun. Whiz! The six-winged golden silkworm appeared suddenly from Lu Quanzhen's sleeve, dashing towards the heaven-shaking true man. Yet facing such a nascent soul immortal body cultivator, even the six-winged golden silkworm, being a rare exotic insect, couldn't cause the slightest harm. This is six-winged golden silkworm? The heaven-shaking true man looked at the bloodthirsty and ferocious aura of the six-winged golden silkworm, inspecting it with some delight. Such a rare exotic insect, even for nascent soul immortal, is top grade, not only for spiritual pets but also for artifact refining and alchemy. Boy, you are the one who killed Old Li Ghost's son, Chu Changtian, right? Good boy, you've got guts. Subsequently, he looked at the blood-red-eyed, pale-faced, thin-figured Lu Chuanjun, laughing aloud. But the next moment he frowned slightly, noticing something wrong with Lu Chuanjun. TSK, what have you done, boy? Netherworld demon chi nether ghost energy, blood evil energy fills your limbs and bones, even polluting your Dantian Dao foundation. Your mana is ferociously chaotic, surging against your meridians. The heaven-shaking true man clicked his tongue in wonder, feeling Lu Chuanjun was indeed fierce, able to get himself into such a predicament. After all, without a certain ferocity tolerance an ordinary person truly couldn't achieve it. At this moment Lu Chuanjun couldn't speak, his body burned with pain akin to being sawed with knives. His situation was already dire, plus he had executed the Kunping blood-burning technique, such desperate measures. Now being suppressed by the heaven-shaking true man, the secret technique stopped functioning, aftermath effects immediately appeared. Not only was his essence blood depleted, mana chaotic, the demonic chi, ghost chi and blood evil energy within also started to run rampant, eroding his flesh and consciousness. Damn it! The ghost demon true master emerged, seeing Lu Chuanjun caught by the heaven-shaking true man, his face unsightly to the extreme. To capture Lu Chuanjun he had exerted much effort, time and energy. Now inadvertently Lu Chuanjun escaped him. If this were to spread, a foundation establishment cultivator escaping from his grasp, soon had become a laughingstock. And now Lu Chuanjun fell into the heaven-shaking old demon's hands, this matter would spread throughout Jin Kingdom in no time. Whiz! At this moment, a purple cloud veil suddenly descended from the sky, an elegant, cold, enchanting and curved purple-skirted beauty stood atop. She saw the ghost demon true master in the scene, then looked towards the heaven-shaking true man, and then gazed at Lu Chuanjun in the true man's hand. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1410, Ghost Demon True Master and Zhentian True Master saw Nangong Meili and looked surprised, not knowing why she had come here. Such a sudden appearance was clearly no coincidence. Oh, isn't this Heavenly Spider True Master? What business brings you here, True Master? Zhentian Old Demon saw Nangong Meili's enchanting beauty and breathtaking curves, licked his lips and his copper-ring leopard eyes revealed a hint of fervor. Nangong Meili glanced at Lu Chuanjun and Zhentian Realman's hand, realizing it was him, her phoenix eyes turned icy and she coldly said, "Name your price, I want this person." Huh? Zhentian Realman was surprised upon hearing this. He didn't expect Nangong Meili to come for Lu Chuanjun. This kid not only subdued the six-winged golden silkworm, an unusual creature, but also escaped from old Ghost Li, clearly not simple, with great fortune, great secrets. Now that Nangong Meili also comes for this kid, it further suggests he is extraordinary, possibly harboring unknown fortunes. Zhentian Realman thought to himself, realizing Lu Chuanjun was indeed special. He audaciously scrutinized Nangong Meili in front of him, then laughed heartily and said, "Haha, if True Master wants this kid, that's possible. As long as you help me kill old Ghost Li, he'll give you this kid, how about it?" Knowing Lu Chuanjun had great fortune and secrets, he naturally wouldn't hand him over easily. "Zhentian Old Ghost, damn you!" Ghost Demon True Master immediately swore. Then he addressed Nangong Meili, "Heavenly Spider True Master, if you help me suppress this old ghost, just name your request and I owe you a favor. I'm not interested in getting involved in your matters, just give me this person." Nangong Meili wore a regal purple dress, her tall figure exuding a cold and domineering beauty. She came to confirm whether Lu Chuanjun was in Ghost Demon True Master's hands. Unexpectedly, Lu Chuanjun was not in Ghost Demon True Master's hands but in Zhen Tian Old Demon's hands. Compared to Ghost Demon True Master, Zhen Tian Old Demon was more troublesome. Being a loose cultivator, he had no ties and was at the third-rank middle stage of body refinement, acting domineeringly without restraint, very difficult to handle. TSK not wanting to get involved makes things difficult. Zhen Tian Old Demon scrutinized Nangong Mili's alluring figure and suddenly laughed. I heard back in the day Xiang Xiangshan was deeply in love with you, serving loyally, even self-detonating his core in Jiang country, utterly pathetic and laughable. I have long heard of the True Master's illustrious name and would love to see it for myself. If True Master is willing to accompany me for a few days, I'll give you this kid. How about it? Insolent. Nangong Mili's phoenix eyes were full of murderous intent. Had it been someone else daring such brazen impudence, looking at her with such aggressive eyes, they would have had their eyes gouged out and fed to the dogs. But considering Zhen Tian Old Demon's power, not wanting a dispute with him, she suppressed her anger. Now with such remarks, there's no point in continuing the discussion. Woo woo woo. Nangong Mili raised her fair jade hand, a shimmering purple jade flute appeared in her hand, resting against her ruby lips, and a captivating flute sound slowly resonated. A gigantic illusion of a purple sky spider appeared, lunging at Zhen Tian True Master. However, Nangong Mili knew that suppressing Zhen Tian True Master was impossible, so she immediately crushed Lu Changsheng's sensing jade talisman. Under usual circumstances she wouldn't seek Lu Changsheng's assistance. But this was about him saving his son, so what did it matter to her? Hee, this little lady is quite feisty, just the kind of woman this old man likes. Zhen Tian Old Demon laughed wildly, his iron tower-like body pulsated with muscles, rumbling like fierce beasts roaring. Above his head appeared a dark gold ferocious iron tower, emitting powerful energy, striking toward the purple sky spider. Huff huff huff. The purple sky spider roared, weaving strands of purple silk into a heaven and earth net. Then countless snakes and insects appeared, carrying a sweeping tide of poisonous gas, rushing toward Zhen Tian Old Demon. Buzz buzz buzz. Zhen Tian Old Demon's form was imposing, the dark gold iron tower vibrated, erupting like a volcano, black mist rolling forth torrentially. At this moment he noticed several invisible spider threads trying to snatch Lu Chuanjun from his grasp. He immediately threw out his hand, pinning the ferocious and pained Lu Chuanjun, whose face was pale, under his magical treasure to prevent Nangong Mili from taking him. Pfft. Already gravely injured, Lu Chuanjun under this spiritual pressure force suddenly vomited blood, nearly fainting. Yet his tenacious and stubborn life force kept him going, clenching his teeth, still pondering if there was any way to survive. But given the present circumstances, he truly couldn't think of any means to escape. The only option was to do everything possible to survive under Zhen Tian Old Demon, waiting for an opportunity. I cannot die yet, my life is just beginning, I still need to witness the rise of the family, I have a pact with my uncle, I must break through core formation, even nascent soul. Lu Quanzhen's eyes were crimson, his face twisted and fearful, his consciousness somewhat blurred. Go. Right then Ghost Demon True Master, seeing Nangong Mili and Zhen Tian True Master confront each other, transformed into a phantom-like netherworld blood shadow and departed. He was injured, and even if he joined forces with Nangong Mili, at most they'd repel Zhen Tian Old Demon. But Nangong Mili wasn't easy either. If he retreated Zhen Tian Old Demon and she sought revenge or benefits, he would suffer massively. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1411. The true man of heaven shaking saw Ghost Demon True Master attempting to escape, and immediately reprimanded Nangong Mili, "You vile woman, get lost." Although he had an interest in Nangong Mili, he knew that given his strength, it was impossible to capture her. Rather than fight her to the death, it was better to continue making trouble for Ghost Demon True Master. Nangong Mili's phoenix eyes were cold and icy. She didn't stop him but pursued from behind, thinking about seizing Lu Chuanjun when the opportunity arose. She looked at Heaven-shaking Old Demon in front of her and suddenly spoke coldly, "Heaven-shaking Old Demon, do you know the identity of this child?" She noticed Lu Chuanjun was in bad shape at the moment, and trying to take him would be difficult, so she planned to delay as much as possible, waiting for Lu Changxing to arrive. Humph, what does his identity have to do with me? Do you really think you can scare me? Heaven-shaking old demon said defiantly. If Lu Chuanjun had some status or background, would he be hunted by Ghost Demon True Master for so long, ending up in such a half-crippled state? Therefore he directly considered Nangong Mili's words as a bluff. Thus the three began to engage in combat. Meanwhile, a golden ping bird, shimmering brilliantly and emitting infinite golden light, suffused with demon chi, was continuously tearing through the void, stirring up gusts of wind, flying towards Nangong Mili. Quick! Lu Changxing stood tall and imposing on the golden-winged heavenly peng, his expression anxious. As soon as Lu Chuanjun activated the substitute talisman, he sensed his son's general direction. Just after leaving ancient secluded immortal city, receiving Nangong Mili's message, he immediately knew Lu Quanzhen's situation was extremely dire. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng let out a sharp cry, raising fierce gusts of wind. Its body, like cast gold, was dazzling and majestic, its wings akin to two golden heavenly blades, exuding unparalleled sharpness. Stretching in the void, it tore the space, screech, screech, directly slashing a towering peak that soared into the sky. At this moment, the speed of the golden-winged heavenly peng had surpassed core formation late stage, almost comparable to the escape speed of a nascent soul true lord. If not for Lu Changxing having third-rank body refining, the wind force formed by this speed would have torn his physical body to shreds, leaving blood and bones. Black Fiend Valley. Wretch, if you keep pestering me, I'll kill you. Heaven-shaking old demon was incredibly tall, like a small iron tower of a mountain, filled with oppressive might. He originally held a crushing advantage over Ghost Demon True Master. But now this woman Nangong Mili continuously affected and interfered, occasionally trying to snatch Lu Chuanjun, increasingly aggravating him, surging with a violent mood. Where did he go? A moment later, heaven-shaking old demon saw Ghost Demon True Master's aura disappear, nowhere to be found. His expression turned ominous as he looked at Nangong Mili. It's all because of you, vile woman. Since you like pestering me so much, I'll grant your wish. With that, his body resounded with clang clang clang, like iron towers vibrating, charging towards Nangong Mili, his eyes filled with murderous intent. The demonic techniques he cultivated, though powerful and domineering, had a drawback, affecting his emotions. He originally didn't want to entangle too much with Nangong Mili. But now, burning with rage, a violent mood surged within him, wanting nothing more than to unleash it fiercely. That's also why he frequently hunted Ghost Demon True Master. The long-term cultivation resulted in many negative emotions accumulating. And when he targeted Ghost Demon True Master, beating him to the point of fleeing, he felt immensely satisfied, able to purge the negative emotions from his mind. Otherwise, even though he was extremely vengeful, he wouldn't spend so much time and energy hunting Ghost Demon True Master. Boom! Nangong Mili lightly raised her plain hand, summoning an invisible spider web, smooth and delicate, as thin as a cicada's wings. Boom boom boom! The terrifying force unleashed by heaven-shaking old demon struck the spider web, immediately being absorbed more than half, unable to advance, feeling a current of toxin flowing on his skin. But the next moment, his fist erupted with infinite mighty aura, like igniting a blazing inferno, causing the spider web to bubble like boiling water, sizzle sizzle, its luster dimming significantly. Woo woo woo! Nangong Mili continued to play the jade flute. A shadow of the purple sky spider appeared, spewing the heaven and earth net, countless poison insects rushing towards heaven-shaking old demon. Yet facing heaven-shaking old demon's robust and domineering physical body, he still had to retreat step by step. She and her daughter Nangong Yaoyao were both not skilled in direct combat and martial arts. Moreover, in the battle at Jiuxiao Immortal City years ago, her life-bound heavenly spider was slain by Yun Jianfeng, leading to a tremendous loss in strength, which she hadn't yet recovered from. Otherwise, when facing a body-refining cultivator like heaven-shaking old demon, she could let the heavenly spider engage in the front while attacking by other means. Not to mention annihilating heaven-shaking old demon, she would at least have a 50 to 60% chance of victory. Damn it, how long until that wretched man arrives? Nangong Mili's face was cold as frost, cursing inwardly. If this continued, her magical treasures might be worn out. And if she left in defeat today, it wouldn't be long before other forces knew her combat strength had greatly diminished. Wretch, what are you waiting for? Though heaven-shaking old demon was burning with rage, trapped in a violent mood, he still maintained some sense. He noticed Nangong Mili consistently avoiding direct combat, incessantly retreating, seemingly buying time, realizing something was amiss. "Humph, I'll make you speak." Heaven-shaking old demon's voice was deep and hoarse, like rolling thunder, with massive muscular black fists shadowing the sky, accompanied by a dark gold iron tower falling in unison, aiming to suppress Nangong Meili. Nangong Meili's phoenix eyes were murderous, icy cold, her hands gesturing incantations, the invisible spider web forming a vault, the purple sky spider consolidating, spewing threads of crystalline spider silk. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:12. Then he summoned a hairpin resembling a purple jade butterfly and launched it to attack the old demon Jintian. Boom, 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 the black iron fist and dark golden iron tower brutally suppressed, shattering the webs like a celestial curtain, and the freshly solidified purple sky spider, causing them to explode and dim continuously. However, at that moment he seemed to see a dreamlike butterfly momentarily dazed, his protective spiritual light was pierced by the purple jade butterfly hairpin, and a drop of scarlet blood oozed from his brow. "You bitch, how dare you hurt me!" The old demon Jintian woke instantly, eyes glaring angrily, fierce light bursting forth, and his mountainous physique erupted into blazing demon flames, with a surging momentum sweeping across a vast expanse of the heavenly dome. Just now, in a moment of carelessness, he sensed a trace of deadly danger, causing an overwhelming fury within him, anger unrestrained. Boom, 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 all the dormant chi and blood magical power within him exploded at this moment, making his 10 feet tall body rise even higher, with each movement seemingly causing the space to explode, filled with a brutal killing aura. "You bitch, die for me." The giant let out a long howl to the sky, with boundless violent fierceness flooding his mind, occupying his thoughts, and attacked Nangong Meili. Bang, bang, bang. The power was fierce. The ethereal purple sky spider under the old demon Zenshin's offensive retreated repeatedly, then disintegrated like sand, causing Nangong Meili to groan softly, with blood seeping from the corner of her mouth. Damn. Nangong Meili's face was somewhat pale, her phoenix eyes extremely cold, feeling suffocated and angry. If her life-bound heavenly spider was still present, it wouldn't be like this. Moreover, that damned man still hasn't arrived. "Bitch, I'm going to kill you." Zhentian True Man's massive body burned with a layer of blazing demon flames, a frenzied violent and chilling murderous intent surging like a tide towards Nangong Meili. Whoosh! Nangong Meili realized Jintian old demon's state was not right, immediately turned and left, temporarily avoiding the sharp edge. "Where do you think you're going, bitch?" The old demon Jintian, like a demon god of purgatory, tore through the void, raising violent aura like a dragon, and reached Nangong Meili. Bang, 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 the black giant fist shattered layers of void. The dark golden iron tower bore down from the heavenly dome like a mountain, exuding endless suppressive aura. Whoosh! Nangong Meili managed to avoid it, but still felt her chi and blood magical power surging turbulently, letting out a muffled groan. Boom, 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 the old demon Jintian continued his assault, the visible force gathered in his fists, violently rampant, with each punch seeming to carry endless fierce beasts roaring, forcing Nangong Meili to retreat step by step, spitting blood. If Lu Chuanjin weren't in the hands of the old demon Jintian, Nangong Meili would have departed by now. After all, she could tell Lu Quanzhen's situation was extremely dire. If she detached and left now, and Jintian old demon disappeared afterward, it would not be easy to find him and Lu Chuanjin again. Just wait a little longer. If that damned man still doesn't come, don't blame me. Nangong Meili's beautiful eyes were icy cold, thinking to herself, for the sake of her daughter, she's willing to help. But she'll never sacrifice herself. Boom, 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 the two continued their combat. At this moment, Nangong Meili was completely no match for Jintian True Man, her face extremely pale, ready to leave. If she continued to drag this on, she herself would be in danger. Just then, both sensed a surging and astonishing demon aura rolling towards this direction. Demon aura? Both were somewhat puzzled, unsure why such a massive demon aura appeared here. Could it be that damned man has come? Nangong Meili pondered to herself. Previously, she heard her daughter mention Lu Changxing had a third-rank ping bird, suspecting that the golden ping bird she saw at the border was indeed Lu Changxing's mount. A few breaths later, she saw a golden rainbow shooting across, speeding swiftly, its momentum rushing fiercely. That damned man finally came. Although the golden-winged heavenly pung's speed was incredibly swift as a nascent soul immortal, she barely made out the figure standing on it. Even though she had guessed before, seeing this familiar golden-winged heavenly peng, Nangong Mili was still extremely surprised. After all, to use such a demon king as a mode of transport, one should be at least a core formation peak existence, right? But Lu Changxing had just recently broken through core formation. Considering Lu Changxing's various circumstances, Nangong Mili no longer used common sense to measure him, feeling a surge of relaxed joy in her heart, and an unprecedented sense of security. Huh? The old demon Zenshin's mind, full of violent aura, cleared slightly under this overwhelming demon aura with reason prevailing. Seeing Nangong Mili's expression, he immediately realized something was wrong. Leave. Without hesitation he decisively planned to escape. After all, the spiritual pressure exuded by this vast demon aura had reached the third rank late stage. If it came to a fight he would be entirely outmatched. Yin-yang Qi grasp. An indifferent voice rang out. Then the winds and clouds on the heavenly dome churned, revealing a gigantic hand imprint intertwined with yin and yang, 100 meters wide, rolling down. Not good. Being a loose cultivator, able to rampage for so long, the old demon Jintian was indeed extraordinary. His muscles rippled as if made of piled rocks, exuding endless power, directly breaking through the suppression of the yin-yang qi grasp. Golden Peng. Lu Changxing's expression was indifferent, his robes fluttered as he rode the golden-winged heavenly peng towards the old demon Jintian. Who? The old demon Zenshin's prideful physical body was pierced at this moment by the golden-winged heavenly peng's wing, carving a deep scar, with blood splattered across the sky. This. Even though Nangong Mili knew the strength of such a demon king was terrifying, she was still startled by this scene. With such a demon king, Lu Changxing could probably fight even a late-stage core formation great cultivator. Given the strength and methods of the opponent, perhaps even late-stage core formation cultivators are not his match. Who are you, sir? What offense have I committed against you? The old demon Jintian, though suspecting Lu Changxing was aligned with Nangong Mili, still felt baffled. Unaware of when Jin Kingdom produced such an existence. Lu Changxing remained silent, the golden-winged heavenly peng let out a screech, continued to attack the old demon Jintian, and carved another deep wound on his chest, more blood spilled. Boom. Meanwhile the yin-yang qi grasp rolled downwards, directly subduing and suppressing the recently domineering old demon Jintian, his bones crackled, and his mouth let out a painful sound. Mili, are you all right? Lu Changxing turned to Nangong Mili beside him, instantly noticing her mana was disordered, having suffered significant injuries, gently asking with concern. He's yours to deal with. Lu Changxing casually threw the old demon Jintian to Nangong Mili. Then he reached out, and from the dark golden iron tower, the pale and agonized Lu Chuanjin was drawn before him. Chuanjin. Lu Changxing gazed at Lu Chuanjin before him with a solemn face. Father? Lu Quanzhen's consciousness was gradually fading. But upon hearing the familiar voice, seeing the familiar dark brocade robe before him, he recognized the scholarly gentleman before him as his father right away. Although unsure why his father appeared here, seeing Lu Changxing, his tense mind relaxed slightly, and he suddenly fainted. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1413. Lu Changxing looked at the unconscious Lu Chuanjin, his brow furrowed. The situation was very serious. His meridians, dantian, limbs and bones were all filled with chaotic, violent, cold and fierce energy. This energy not only eroded Lu Quanzhen's flesh and mana but also polluted his sea of consciousness and soul. Lu Changxing immediately understood why Lu Quanzhen's cultivation level had broken through so quickly. By using demonic techniques to devour various chaotic energies, he stimulated and squeezed his life potential, thus madly enhancing his cultivation realm. The consequences were chaotic mana, a flimsy foundation, unstable realm, and a tendency toward deviation. Besides these problems, Lu Chuanjin was also severely injured, having used the life-burning secret technique, which led to a deficit in essence blood and damaged his foundation. The Tao foundation in his Qi ocean core was dim and dull, polluted by wisps of blood fiend, with several cracks faintly visible. Boom. Without hesitation, Lu Changxing ran the yin-yang creation scripture to sort and suppress the chaotic and violent energies and mana within Lu Chuanjin. At his chest, the 9 treasures Rui bone radiated, bursting with brilliant glow as mysterious runes intertwined and flowed, containing an indescribable vast secret power, pouring into Lu Quanzhen's body. This is. Nangong Mili, standing beside him, was surprised to see the vast might and dense vitality emanating from Lu Changsheng's chest. She never expected Lu Changsheng to have such means. It was known that cultivators skilled in combat techniques rarely cultivate healing divine skills. One reason was that cultivation techniques were incompatible, difficult to master, and even if mastered they were not very effective. Another reason was that one's time and energy were limited, making it impossible to cultivate too many divine skills. Though she couldn't discern the specifics of Lu Changsheng's divine skill, she could tell from the interwoven and blossoming brilliant runes and the pervasive, vast chi mechanism that it was extraordinary. How many tricks does this wretched man have? Nangong Mili thought to herself, feeling that Lu Changsheng was shrouded in mystery. Moments later, Lu Changsheng exhaled deeply and stopped the operation of the 9 treasures Rui Bone. Lu Quanzhen's situation was very serious. Even he could only temporarily restrain it, unable to fully resolve it. How is it? Nangong Mili, with a cool and alluring demeanor, asked aloud. Even though she had no feelings for Lu Chuanzhen. As a mother, knowing her child was severely injured, she knew how anxious one would be. The situation is quite serious, needs to be slowly resolved. Lu Changsheng said solemnly. Lu Quanzhen's situation could only be gradually adjusted. Unless he happened to acquire heavenly and earthly treasures specifically for this, it couldn't be resolved in a short time. Then he held Nangong Mili's jade wrist, expressing concern. Mili, are you all right? If Nangong Mili hadn't arrived early today to hold off the tremor old demon, afterward his son Lu Chuanzhen would have been rendered a ruined man even if he didn't die. Nangong Mili instinctively tried to shake off Lu Changsheng. But failing to do so, she let him hold her, saying with a cool and noble expression, "I'm fine." Lu Changsheng saw that Nangong Mili indeed had no major issues, only minor injuries along with chi blood shocks and mana disturbances. Yet to express gratitude he activated the 9 treasures Rui Bone. Boom! Brilliant light flared, runes blossomed, interwoven a dense vitality secret power flowing toward Nangong Mili. The milky green healing divine light rippled. Nangong Mili immediately felt a nurturing and comforting warmth akin to being in the womb, as if soaking in a hot spring, her body and mind relaxing tremendously. The disturbed chi and blood magical power and the Bodis injuries were repaired and purified. This wretched man actually doesn't only focus on his son. Nangong Mili felt a bit delighted, remembering her daughter Nangong Yaoyao's words. As long as she was willing to take a step back, lower her stance, Lu Changsheng would also take a step back, lower his stance. No need for this, I can recover on my own in a few days. Nangong Mili said coldly, her voice indifferent but not entirely dismissive. Even though she was willing to step back and ease relations, she still couldn't directly lower her stance and show Lu Changsheng a good face. No worries. Lu Changsheng knew she was the type who had pride despite her actions contradicting her words, and continued to nurture her. After it was almost done he stopped, slightly exhaustedly exhaling. Using the healing divine light consumed him as well. Man-wise, thanks to the Tianyuan Supreme King Lotus, it wasn't a major issue. But using such a divine skill also depleted his essence energy. Mili, what just happened? Why was Chuanzhen in this person's hands? Lu Changsheng asked Nangong Mili about the earlier situation. Through previous investigations, he had learned that the giant before him was the tremor old demon. But wasn't his son being pursued by the ghost demon True Master? Why was he in the tremor old demon's hands? I don't know either. Nangong Mili's tone and attitude improved slightly when speaking to Lu Changsheng, explaining that when she arrived, Lu Chuanzhen was already captured by the tremor old demon. It seemed that Lu Chuanzhen had escaped the ghost demon True Master's grasp only to encounter the tremor old demon. Where is the ghost demon True Master? Lu Changsheng's eyes deepened, exuding a cold, murderous intent. Lu Quanzhen's plight was inseparable from that person. This debt he would naturally settle with him. At that time the ghost demon True Master was being chased by the tremor old demon. It was her first time seeing Lu Changsheng angry, and for some reason Nangong Mili felt a surge of inexplicable emotion, her heart trembled. This man wasn't devoid of temper. He simply didn't get angry easily under normal circumstances. If she truly enraged him, how would she be treated? Nangong Mili suddenly wondered. The ghost demon True Master was injured considerably. Heres a high likelihood he'll return to the Yiming ghost sect to heal. Nangong Mili said. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1414, Yiming Ghost Sect. Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed slightly. Although the Yiming Ghost Sect doesn't have a nascent soul true lord to oversee them, the sect has the supreme treasure, myriad ghosts blood pool to stabilize their foundation. And the supreme elder of Yiming Ghost Sect is already at the core formation peak, just one step away from advancing to the nascent soul. Don't be impulsive. Nangong Mili seemed worried that Lu Changxing might directly go to the Yiming Ghost Sect to cause trouble and immediately spoke up. Don't worry. Lu Changxing smiled and looked at the old demon Jin Tian asking, what do you plan to do with this person? Humph, killing him easily would be too cheap for him. First, take him back as a blood slave, cultivate goo insects from him, and once his potential is exhausted, sell him to the Heavenly Corpse Sect for corpse refinement. Nangong Mili spoke coldly, her phoenix eyes filled with malice. When the opponent fought with her, he called her a lowly wench and she naturally held that in her heart, not letting him off easily. Lu Changxing, indeed the demon path is just that. Even if this woman shows tenderness and care in front of her daughter, being gentle like water, she is ultimately a demoness of the demon path, known as a femme fatale, ruthless and merciless. But in these matters he couldn't really persuade her. After all, according to the principle of making full use of things, her actions didn't seem wrong, just a bit cruel to hear. And in his early years, he too had fed his six-winged golden silkworm with corpses, abyssal ghoul blossoms. However, hearing about corpse refinement, he thought of the endless guileful head in his own corpse bag. This old demon Jin Tian with core formation cultivation and third-rank body refining, if refined into a ghost slave, would have considerable combat power. Let's go back first. Lu Changxing took Nangong Mili's jade hand, bringing the fainted Lu Chuanjin onto the back of the golden-winged heavenly peng, preparing to go back to treat Lu Quanzhen's body. Nangong Mili came onto the golden-winged heavenly peng, feeling somewhat nervous and uneasy. After all, this was a third-rank demon king. A demon king that had suppressed the old demon Jin Tian with just one move. And now, she was actually using such a demon king as a means of transportation. Nangong Mili slightly tilted her head, her beautiful phoenix eyes glancing at the elegantly handsome Lu Changxing, feeling that his tall and upright figure seemed to have grown even more magnificent. However, this man's true appearance is indeed quite handsome. Let's go. Lu Changxing noticed Nangong Mili's gaze, smiled, and signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to return to the immortal spider marketplace. Then he continued to use the yin-yang creation scripture to sort out Lu Quanzhen's condition. The situation of the other person was extremely troublesome. Not only were his meridians and physical body filled with violent and chaotic energy. His Tao Foundation, Qi Ocean Core were also polluted, the mana was icy and ferocious, unable to nourish the body, even constantly damaging the meridians and physical body. Let me see his condition. At this moment, Nangong Mili's red lips parted lightly and she spoke. She was from the Five Poisons cult, skilled in unorthodox techniques, and saw the cold and vicious qi flowing through Lu Quanzhen's body, wondering if she could resolve it. All right. Lu Changxing nodded. This? As soon as Nangong Mili examined Lu Quanzhen's body, she frowned slightly. She knew the situation was bad, but she didn't expect it to be this dire. If not for the rich vitality continuously nourishing his body, he probably wouldn't last a few days. When she saw Lu Quanzhen's Qi Ocean Core, her eyebrows furrowed even more. This mana. Why does it resemble the netherworld blood evil technique of the ghost demon true master? Nangong Mili saw that Lu Quanzhen's mana was completely incompatible with his cultivation technique, both icy and extremely vicious. At this moment she furrowed her brows again, realizing something amiss. Even though Lu Quanzhen's foundation was unstable and his state very poor, his cultivation level was clearly at the 9th level foundation establishment. But she remembered that according to the intelligence he was only at the foundation establishment middle stage, having just broken through to the 4th layer not long ago? How did he suddenly break through from the foundation establishment 4th layer to the 9th level foundation establishment? His situation seems like someone transmitted their cultivation to him, forcefully raising his level, which resulted in deviation, followed by using a life-burning secret technique, leaving him heavily injured. Nangong Mili's eyebrows knit tightly, explaining her assessment. But in her view, Lu Quanzhen's situation didn't seem like someone transmitted their cultivation to him. Transmitting cultivation? Netherworld blood evil technique? Lu Changxing roughly guessed that his son had fallen into the hands of the ghost demon true master, who, in order to escape and increase his strength, had used the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique to devour a massive amount of netherworld blood evil energy. This also explained why his mana was chaotic, ferocious, and filled with blood evil energy. Mealy, do you have any solutions? Lu Changxing inquired. The Five Poisons cult has a type of goo insect called blood-like goo, which feeds on blood evil, and might temporarily relieve his condition. There's also a goo insect called flesh white bone, which can constantly provide nourishment and heal his flesh injuries, but resolving this completely would be difficult. Nangong Mealy shook her head. Does the Yiming Ghost sect have a method for this? Lu Changxing's eyes narrowed slightly as he continued to ask. His son falling to this state was linked to the ghost demon True Master, and perhaps they had a way to resolve it. Nangong Mealy looked at Lu Changxing, paused for a moment, then spoke with her red lips slightly parted. His mana is similar to the netherworld blood evil technique. The Yiming Ghost sect might have secret medicines or techniques to assist in this cultivation method, possibly easing the condition, but I'm not sure. I understand. Lu Changxing nodded his head. Nangong Mealy looked at Lu Changxing, hesitated for a moment, and then spoke in an indifferent tone. I can go to the Yiming Ghost sect later to see if I can obtain some information. There's no rush. Lu Changxing shook his head, not wanting to trouble Nangong Mealy. As he understood, although the three great demonic sects of the Jin Kingdom had interactions and collaborations, their relationship was only average. If Nangong Mealy went to the Yiming Ghost sect, they would naturally show her some courtesy. But when it comes to the inheritance of cultivation techniques, it might not be that simple. So he planned to wait until his son woke up to discuss it further. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-15, Lu Lang. Immortal Spider Marketplace. Meng Xiaochan saw Lu Changxing return, and immediately called out. She then reported information about Lu Chuanjin and Ghost Demon True Master, stating that her master had gone out to find Ghost Demon True Master a few days ago. I already know. Lu Changxing spoke, indicating that he had already found Lu Chuanjin and just parted ways with Nangong Mealy. Xiaochan, is there a second-rank alchemy room here? He inquired aloud, intending to open a furnace to refine pills for Lu Chuanjin to address the situation. There is. Meng Xiaochan didn't know why Lu Changxing was asking this, but still nodded in response. Immediately, Lu Changxing asked Meng Xiaochan to help him gather some spiritual medicine, then released Lu Chuanjin from the Tianyuan lotus to continue nurturing and healing his body. Lu Quanzhen's vitality was stabilized now. The only problem was his sea of consciousness soul being corroded by Blood Fiend, which was very troublesome. Even if Lu Changxing wanted to resolve it, he had to be extremely cautious. Several days later, Nangong Mealy arrived at the Immortal Spider Marketplace and was somewhat surprised to see Lu Changxing practicing alchemy. Although she had previously read the information and knew Lu Changxing was a second-rank alchemist, she noticed that Lu Changxing's technique was unlike ordinary second-rank alchemists. However, thinking of Lu Changxing's various methods, having such alchemy skills seemed unremarkable. This is blood-like goo and flesh-white bone, they only need simple refinement before they can be implanted into him. Nangong Mealy, dressed in a purple skirt, gracefully tossed 2 goo jars to Lu Changxing, her expression cold and beautiful. Thank you for your hard work, Mealy. Lu Changxing smiled faintly and opened the goo jars. Then, with a subtle mental movement, a pink peach blossom mark appeared on his forehead, refining the goo insects in his hand. During this process, the disguise on his face also automatically disappeared. Huh? Nangong Mealy saw the peach blossom mark on Lu Changxing's forehead, feeling an inexplicable tremor in her heart, and the goo insects inside her quivered. So this is the goo insect of this awful man? Nangong Mealy had long known that Lu Changxing harbored a powerful goo insect within. But she didn't know what kind of goo insect it was. Now, seeing the pink peach petal on Lu Changxing's forehead, she realized that this was his goo insect. What kind of goo is this? Yet it really is like him, like a peach blossom spirit. Nangong Mealy saw that his handsome face had an added touch of wicked charm, internally cursing. But for some reason she found this appearance unusually pleasing to the eye. Even more than the previous look, resembling a banished immortal descending to the mundane world. Lu Changxing didn't pay attention to Nangong Mealy's gaze, refining the 2 goo insects in his hand. These were merely second-rank goo insects. With the will of the peach blossom goo suppressing them, combined with his yin-yang magic power and Tai divine soul, they were refined in a moment. Then, with a slight mental gesture, he infused the 2 goo insects into Lu Quanzhen's body. Buzz. As soon as the blood-like goo entered Lu Quanzhen's sea of consciousness, it began to absorb the blood fiend intent within. This blood fiend qi was extremely troublesome. Even Lu Changxing had to be cautious in dispersing it. Yet this blood-like goo was able to absorb the blood fiend aura from his sea of consciousness without harming Lu Quanzhen's soul. At the same time, flesh-white bone began to flow with medicinal power, constantly nourishing Lu Quanzhen's condition. These goo insects indeed have their merits. Lu Changxing nodded silently. He thought to himself that among the 100 arts of cultivation, goo insects could form a distinct path, and there were indeed many goo cultivators with some substantial capabilities. Immediately afterward, he placed a peaceful spirit talisman on Lu Quanzhen's forehead. Puff! Several days later, under Lu Changxing's treatment, Lu Quanzhen suddenly coughed up a spurt of foul blood and regained consciousness. Father? He opened his blood-reddened eyes, looking at the Lu Changxing in front of him, appearing somewhat dazed and confused, almost believing he was dreaming. Quanzhen. Lu Changxing looked at the pale complexion, gray-white hair and blood-red eyes of Lu Quanzhen, filled with blood-fiend intent, feeling a heaviness in his heart. Father, is it really you? Lu Quanzhen was still somewhat incredulous. Although before losing consciousness he seemed to have seen Lu Changxing. But he vaguely remembered falling into the hands of the earth-shaking old demon. This person's name was known to him, even stronger than the ghost demon true master. How did Father save him from the earth-shaking old demon? It seemed like there was a golden light? He recalled the situation at that time, only remembering a brilliantly dazzling golden light spreading, and a majestic demon aura. Then the earth-shaking old demon seemed to let out a tragic wail? It is me. Lu Changxing nodded, then asked in a deep voice, how did you end up like this? Lu Quanzhen felt his entire situation, then calmed his mind and spoke aloud. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:16. Lu Quanzhen truthfully recounted his encounter. He met the ghost demon true master, got trapped in the netherworld blood evil gourd, and then chose to cultivate the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique. I knew there was a problem with this cultivation technique, but I didn't expect it to be like this. Cough, cough, cough. Lu Quanzhen's face was pale and extremely weak, coughing violently several times. At first, relying on the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique secret technique, he survived by a stroke of luck in the Black Mist Swamp, thinking he had some control over this demonic technique. But he didn't expect the cultivation technique to be so overpowering, completely out of his control. Of course, if he were given another chance he would still make the same choice. Because at that time he had no other choice but this one method. If it weren't for the encounter with the shocking heaven old demon, he might have really escaped from the ghost demon true master's hands. But speaking of it, if it weren't for the shocking heaven old demon, he might not have had the chance to escape at all. Upon hearing this, Lu Changxing sighed softly, not knowing what to say. After a pause he asked, does your cultivation technique have a solution to this problem? It's rather difficult. Lu Quanzhen shook his head with a bitter smile. If it was just relying on the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique to break through to the 6th layer of foundation establishment, or even the 7th layer, he still had confidence to resolve it. He could slowly reconcile by using heavenly and earthly treasures, cultivation technique secret elixirs, and the yin-yang 5 elements Kunping technique, refining the violent chaotic energy, and baptizing his Tao foundation and mana. But leaping to the 9th layer of foundation establishment in one go, absorbing too much netherworld blood evil, caused the cultivation technique to go out of control, with physical body cultivation technique and mana repelling each other. Moreover, he was now in an extremely poor state, with his physical body and foundation damaged, polluted by the blood evil, making it difficult to cultivate. Explain this cultivation technique to me in detail. Lu Changxing pondered slightly. He had heard Lu Quanzhen mention this cultivation technique in the past, but wasn't clear on the specifics. Now, looking at the other person's situation, he wanted to see if the problem could be fundamentally resolved. Yes, Father? Lu Quanzhen didn't hide anything and explained the Kunping devouring heaven demon god technique in detail. Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique. Lu Changxing frowned slightly, thinking to himself that this cultivation technique was indeed a thorough demonic technique. By devouring all things in the world and living beings' origin sources to elevate oneself, it presented no solutions, only mitigation and reconciliation methods. The whole cultivation process could be described as 9 deaths and 1 life, depending on whether one's fate was strong enough. However, without cultivating the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique, just cultivating the yin-yang 5 elements Kunping technique, it was also a top-level cultivation technique. Father, how come you are in the Jin kingdom? Seeing his father silent, Lu Chuanjin felt somewhat ashamed and softly asked. He recalled that when he fell into the hands of the shocking heaven old demon, a female cultivator in core formation came, seemingly the heavenly spider true master from the 5 poisons cult. But he really didn't know when his father appeared. Besides, Jiang country and Jin kingdom were far apart. How did his father come to Jin kingdom? I happen to have some matters in Jin kingdom, and upon hearing news of your situation, I sent people to investigate your whereabouts. Lu Changxing looked at him and said, You should rest well first, we can talk about things later. Seeing his son was still very weak, Lu Changxing did not talk much further. He handed a bottle of elixirs to him, advising to take 2 daily, then left the room, pondering how to solve Lu Quanzhen's problem. Letting his son live was naturally not difficult. As long as he helped him sort out mana periodically and nurtured the physical body, there would be no major issue. But if his son's condition couldn't be resolved, it would be tantamount to being semi-crippled, unable to cultivate further. Besides the blood evil foundation issue, he also faced a big issue: lifespan. Name, Lu Chuanjin. Lifespan, 60-69, talent, 4th grade spiritual root, cultivation level, foundation establishment 9th layer, talent, combat law compatibility 69%. Lu Chuanjin only had a lifespan of less than 100 when he broke through to the 9th layer of foundation establishment. After being heavily injured, having used the life-burning method, his lifespan was further reduced to only 9 years. Moreover, he had consumed lifespan extension pills in his early years. Now, if he wanted to continue extending his lifespan, he would have to consume 3rd-rank lifespan extension pills or some rare spiritual medicine for extension. But without solving his situation, even obtaining 3rd-rank lifespan extension pills would merely treat the symptoms, not the root cause. To untie the bell, the person who tied it must do it. Looks like I have to visit the Yiming Ghost sect. After pondering for a long time, Lu Changxing decided to visit the Yiming Ghost sect later, to see if the Yiming Ghost sect had a way to fundamentally resolve the netherworld blood evil. Theoretically, as long as the netherworld blood evil could be perfectly controlled, he could help Lu Chuanjin reconcile the cultivation technique, then find a way to repair the foundational Dao injuries. Regarding lifespan, as long as Lu Quanzhen's foundational Dao injuries could be resolved, he would have the hope of impacting core formation. As long as he broke through to core formation, lifespan effects, though existent, wouldn't be very significant. 6 days later, Lu Quanzhen's injuries had slightly alleviated, allowing him to move normally though he still appeared very weak. Let's go, I will take you to seek an explanation. Lu Changxing immediately took Lu Chuanjin to find Meng Xiaochan, indicating he was going out for a while. Huh? Lu Quanzhen's pupils contracted sharply upon seeing Meng Xiaochan in front, with a look of shock and doubt towards his father. This is Meng Xiaochan, an old friend of your father's. I already know about your previous matters. She didn't know your identity at the time, so there were some misunderstandings. But your father being able to know about your situation is thanks to Xiaochan. Lu Changxing glanced at his son and said. Lu Chuanjin was in utter surprise. Though called an old friend, the person was gazing tenderly at his father. How could he not know what relationship the two had? For this he simply didn't know what to say. He could only say that his father's social connections were indeed quite extensive. He even had friends in Jin Kingdom. At this moment he recalled the previously appearing heavenly spider true master, who seemed to be the master of this Meng Xiaochan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:17. Could it be that the heavenly spider true man also has some connection with my father? Lu Chuanjin glanced at his father, his eyes twitching slightly, feeling that this was highly likely. Otherwise, how could this heavenly spider true man appear just in time and even demand me from the old demon Jintian? However, as a son he naturally couldn't speak on matters concerning his father. Immediately he clasped his hands towards Meng Xiaochan and said, Chuanjin greets Senior Meng. Thank you for your assistance. There's no need to be polite. Meng Xiaochan responded with a gentle smile. Xiaochan, Chuanjin has some troubling issues. I plan to take him out to see if we can resolve them. Lu Changxing said to Meng Xiaochan, intending to take Lu Chuanjin to the Yiming Ghost sect. Lu Lang, is there anything I can help with? My master said before that you can reach out to her if you need anything. Meng Xiaochan knew that Lu Quanzhen's situation was quite severe, and it was already remarkable that Lu Changxing managed to stabilize it. It's just a minor issue. If your master asks, just let her know. Lu Changxing smiled and chose not to trouble Nangong Meili. He was planning to take Lu Chuanjun to the Yiming Ghost sect to demand answers, needing only to disguise themselves as loose cultivators without any scruples. But bringing Nangong Meili along would be inconvenient. Alright Lu Lang, be careful. Meng Xiaochan, understanding Lu Changxing's capabilities, didn't ask further. After saying that, she lightly pursed her pink lips, her beautiful eyes filled with hopeful reluctance, and said, Lu Lang, once you're done, will you return? I will. Wait for me? Lu Changxing gently caressed her dreamlike, exquisite cheek with a smile. But as the words left his mouth, he suddenly felt it was inauspicious, like tempting fate, so he changed his words, saying, I'll still be in the Jin Kingdom. If anything happens, you can crush the transmission jade talisman and it'll come immediately. Whoosh! After Lu Changxing and Lu Chuanjun exited the immortal spider marketplace, he immediately channeled his mana, riding a divine rainbow into the sky. Transforming into a rainbow to fly, is that a nascent soul immortal's technique? Even though Lu Chuanjun had already guessed that his father had broken through to the core formation stage, seeing this scene still left him astonished. After all, this was the core formation stage. Whether in Jiang country or Jin Kingdom, it is considered a leading presence, known as a nascent soul immortal. Has my family already reached the status of a core formation noble family? Just as he was wondering, suddenly golden light surged before him, dazzling and brilliant. A torrent of demon chi swept up, soaring skyward, giving a suffocating, mountainous pressure. It's that demon king shimmering with golden light. Lu Chuanjun was immediately startled, recognizing it as the golden light he had seen when his consciousness was hazy earlier. The next moment, a massive ping bird, seemingly forged from solid gold, appeared before him. Its body was huge and robust, every feather flashing with sharp, dazzling light, glittering like jewels. Its sharp beak seemed forged from ancient immortal gold, exuding a metallic, icy brilliance. Its pair of golden eyes, like two brilliant suns, profound and boundless, emanated an overwhelming presence that made one afraid to look directly. Is this Demon King Father's spiritual pet? Lu Chuanjun stared at the fearsome, awe-inspiring golden-winged heavenly peng before him, his heart in turmoil, like waves surging thousands of layers high. This is too astonishing. This golden demon king seemed to have subdued the old demon Jintian in just a few breaths. And yet father could tame such a demon king. But before he could think more, Lu Changxing carried him onto the golden-winged heavenly peng. Go. Lu Changxing instructed the golden peng on the direction of the Yiming Ghost sect, then enveloped Lu Chuanjun with a yin-yang mysterious divine light. Ka. The golden-winged heavenly peng let out a cry, its wings stretching as a gale howled, clouds swirled, as though the world and all things made way, heading toward the Yiming Ghost sect. If you have any questions, just ask. Lu Changxing glanced at his bewildered son beside him and spoke. Father, where are we planning to go? Lu Chuanjun snapped out of his trance, slightly dazed, and didn't inquire about his father's strength. Of course, to the Yiming Ghost sect. Lu Changxing answered straightforwardly. The Yiming Ghost sect? Lu Chuanjun was taken aback, his expression caught between shock and doubt. Since the ghost demon true master sent people to hunt you for so many years as your father, I must seek an explanation. Moreover, your Dao foundation and mana have been eroded by the blood fiend, causing conflicts with your cultivation technique in mana. Unless you abolish your cultivation and start anew, it can't be fundamentally resolved. This mana is similar to the Yiming Ghost sect's netherworld blood evil technique, so I intend to see if the Yiming Ghost sect has a solution. Lu Changxing, clad in a mystic robe, stood tall, exuding an aura of suppressed power, his expression indifferent as he spoke. Lu Chuanjun was bewildered. He hadn't expected his father would go to the Yiming Ghost sect to stir up trouble. As one of the three great demon sects in the Jin Kingdom, the Yiming Ghost sect's strength is extraordinary, even surpassing the Qingyun sect by a level. Though his father's strength is profound and unfathomable, wanting to go to the Yiming Ghost sect looking for trouble might be challenging, right? Father, the Yiming Ghost sect openly has 9 nascent soul immortals in charge, not to mention the supreme treasure, myriad ghosts' blood pool to uphold their foundation. There are even rumors that the supreme elder of the Yiming Ghost sect is just half a step away from breaking through to nascent soul, and with the myriad ghosts' blood pool in hand, his strength rivals that of a nascent soul true lord. Lu Quanzhen's face turned pale, voicing quietly to subtly express the immense danger. No matter. Lu Changxing looked at his son's expression and spoke softly. Since he dared to head to the Yiming ghost sect, he certainly had the confidence. With the 9 treasures Rui bone, his strength absolutely matched the core formation late stage. Additionally, he had the golden-winged heavenly Peng, a 3rd-rank true spirit bloodline demon king. This battle power, even the Yiming ghost sect had to hold some reservation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:18. Unwilling to fight him to the death. Even if the opponent wanted to fight to the death, Lu Changxing was utterly fearless. With the golden-winged heavenly Peng, unless a nascent soul true lord intervened, he could come and go as he pleased. Even if a nascent soul true lord came, Lu Changxing felt he could compete in speed. I am a fighter being chased by a fighting emperor, but am not worried in the slightest, because his horse isn't faster than mine. Lu Changxing suddenly thought of this phrase. Although it was a joke, it underscored how important it was to have a good mount. Lu Chuanzhen, seeing his father say this, was no longer worried. His blood-colored, narrow eyes gazed in the direction of the Yiming ghost sect, a surge of fierce hatred rising in his heart. Calm yourself in your current state, avoid impulsiveness and rash killing intent. Lu Changxing, seeing his son, frowned slightly and placed his hand on his shoulder, circulating the yin-yang creation scripture to help him manage his magic aura. Most demonic techniques have some side effects. At this moment, the blood fiend was eroding Lu Quanzhen's physical body, soul, and Dao foundation, making him naturally prone to drastic actions and deviation. Yes, father. Lu Chuanzhen took a deep breath, steadied his mental spirit, realizing his emotional state was unstable. However, his personality was somewhat like that, with a need for revenge. If he had enough strength, he would immediately seek out Ghost Demon True Master for revenge. After this, come back with me and properly rest your body. Lu Changxing glanced at his son's blood-colored, gray hair and spoke. The Mount Sumeru Tree King had the effect of purifying the mind and suppressing heart demons. Living home long-term would be beneficial for him. It's just thinking that his son would return in this state, his wife Chu Jinjin might not know what to say. Father, sorry to trouble you. Lu Chuanzhen said in a low voice. Encountering some things while outside is quite normal. Lu Changxing shook his head. Oh, earlier in the Immortal Spider Marketplace besides Xiaochan, you probably met a young girl in a purple dress, do you remember? At this moment he recalled his daughter Nangong Yaoyao's situation and mentioned it to Lu Chuanzhen. Although it's unlikely they'd see each other again, any minor misunderstanding the siblings had in the past should be resolved early. Otherwise with time he might forget. Are you referring to the daughter of Heavenly Spider True Man, Nangong Yaoyao? Lu Chuanzhen had been vaguely speculating due to the prior incident with Meng Xiaochan. Yes, it's Yaoyao, she's actually your sister. She attacked you earlier due to the 6-winged golden silkworm incident. But she didn't know your identity at the time. She's going to the Immortal Lotus sect now and cannot meet you to apologize. Lu Changxing said softly. Indeed. Lu Chuanzhen thought inwardly, not knowing what to say. He had speculated that Heavenly Spider True Man and his father might be related, but didn't expect Nangong Yaoyao to be their daughter. Yet his father was a Foundation establishment cultivator back then. How was it possible to have a daughter with a nascent soul immortal? He felt a rush of emotions but also some relief. When facing Nangong Yaoyao he hadn't suffered. He almost killed Nangong Yaoyao. If he really had killed his sister at the time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Father. Subsequently, Lu Chuanzhen looked at his father, wanting to say something but hesitated. What is it? Lu Changxing signaled him to speak directly. How many other brothers and sisters do I have out there? You could tell me in advance to avoid similar misunderstandings, Lu Chuanzhen said. Although he didn't have any emotional connections with most siblings and didn't feel much. He didn't want any internal strife. Lu Changxing? Is this how he appeared in his son's mind? There was clearly only Nangong Yaoyao as an outside daughter. Just this one. Lu Changxing said, thinking that when they return home, he should introduce the children and siblings to each other more. Otherwise, with so many siblings, they might not recognize each other if they met outside, especially with Lu Chuanzhen being away for over 20 years. There's a chance he doesn't know many of the siblings at home. The Immortal Spider Marketplace was within the 5 Poisons Cults region, so it was still a distance to the Yiming Ghost sect. Also, heading to the Yiming Ghost sect would most likely involve a battle, so Lu Changxing didn't have the golden-winged heavenly Peng fly at full speed to conserve its strength. Even reaching the Yiming Ghost sect region, he slightly slowed down to keep the golden-winged heavenly pang in good condition. At this moment, suddenly a surge of spiritual root enhancements activated, accompanied by a system notification tone. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching 100 progeny with spiritual roots. You have received one advanced lottery opportunity. Has Jiue given birth? Lu Changxing roughly guessed who had given birth to a child. A month ago, Yu Fei's child was born with ordinary spiritual roots, just 5th grade spiritual root. And this child, Lu Changxing sensed, should be a 4th grade spiritual root. This left him slightly disappointed. He had hoped after breaking through core formation, he and Xia Zizhu could have another child with superior grade spiritual root. But after 6 attempts, he understood that Xia Zizhu's spirit-nurturing physique worked like this. It could steadily produce offspring with spiritual roots, even guaranteeing a middle-grade spiritual root. But for superior-grade spiritual roots, a lot of luck was still needed. System lottery. Lu Changxing thought quietly, hoping to draw something useful to enhance his combat power. If he could draw another 3rd-rank Demon King, he could truly roam unhindered. P.S. The author's note is not visible on QRead, so I'll add it here. Lu Chuanzhen should have received a lottery for breaking through the 9th level of Foundation Establishment, but it was forgotten earlier, so erase a patch. Content added in Chapter 484, Lu Chuanzhen breaks through the 9th level of Foundation Establishment, and the main character receives an advanced lottery, a Great Desolate Dragon Spine. Great Desolate Dragon Spine. Grade, 4th rank. Description: one of the 9 guardian bones of the Divine Bone Sect. This bone is indestructible, can boost physical body strength, absorbs heaven and earth's power to repair the body, and can transform into Great Desolate Dragon armor. At least 3rd rank body refining is required for refinement. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1419. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Seed of Law, Son of Heaven Chi Observation. Reward has been issued to System Space. The host can view it at any time. A dragon-shaped pattern with pale golden airflow emerged from the big wheel, accompanied by the system prompt tone. Seed of Law? Lu Changxing raised his eyebrows slightly, his expression content. He was naturally aware of the Seed of Law. Years ago he even drew a Seed of Law called Sword-Rushing Bullfight, which he gave to his son Lu Qingshan. Unexpectedly he drew another one now. This is a good thing. Lu Changxing's mental spirit moved slightly, looking toward the system space. Seed of Law, Son of Heaven Chi Observation. Rank, 4th rank. Description: Son of Heaven Chi Observation can kill with a smile, enhances the cultivation talent of the recipient, naturally born with various combat experience, can see the flaws of supernatural divine ability, mana mechanism flows. Why is it only 4th rank? Lu Changxing frowned. The previous ordinary lotteries, Sword-Rushing Bullfight was a 4th rank Seed of Law. This time the advanced lottery is only 4th rank as well? It seems that the previous one was sheer luck, this time it's normal level. Lu Changxing pondered secretly. Early ordinary lotteries did draw several 4th rank rewards. But aside from Sword-Rushing Bullfight, others were of average value. Even though the Seed of Law was ranked 4th, but judging from his son Lu Qingshan's situation, its effects were almost comparable to a top-level spiritual body. Even though it ranked 5th, it would be no exaggeration. Lu Changxing didn't look much into it, intending to research more about this Seed of Law later. Shoo! A golden streak flew across the sky, its wings unfolded as it tore the air into a long golden wave, stirring up fierce winds. Even when the golden-winged heavenly peng slowed down, it far surpassed many nascent soul cultivators. Several days later, just as they were approaching Yiming Ghost Sect, Lu Changxing suddenly sensed 2 nascent soul cultivators were in combat a dozen miles away. Among them was a wave of mana he faintly found familiar. Immediately scanning with divine sense, he saw 16 miles away, an ordinary-looking tall woman wearing blue-white tight-fitting clothing was wielding a shining magical sword, dueling a garishly made-up, pale-skinned, translucent-skinned glamorous woman wearing a white bone crown. The magical sword in her hand was enveloped in a sharp and ethereal 7-colored sword light. With a casual swipe, countless 7-colored sword chi emerged, crisscrossing and filled with a sharp murderous aura. The glamorous woman wearing the white bone crown wielded a blood-red flame-long silk, like a blood python shadow, coiling around her, struggling to resist the 7-colored sword chi. It was clear that the glamorous woman wearing the white bone crown was not a match for the sword-wielding woman, seemingly delaying time, preventing her from leaving. How is she here? Lu Changxing, seeing the sword-wielding woman, raised his eyebrow, somewhat surprised. This tall, plain-looking sword cultivator woman was none other than Xiao Xie's senior sister, Chu Qingyi. Previously, Chu Qingyi broke and stood, dissolved the true elixir and reconsolidated the golden core, cultivating the seven luminaries' great freedom sword scripture. Thus, Lu Changxing was very familiar with her magic aura, instantly seeing through her disguise and camouflage. But Chu Qingyi should be in closed-door cultivation within the Qingyun sect. Why was she appearing in Jin Kingdom just right at the Yiming Ghost sect? Could this be another mysterious hint of fate? Lu Changxing touched his chin. Simultaneously, the two women in combat sensed the rolling demon chi of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, their expressions shocked and suspicious, unsure if it was enemy or ally. This place is not suitable for staying long. Chu Qingyi knew this glamorous woman was delaying time, waiting for reinforcements. Now, with another surge of demon chi appearing, clearly with ill intentions. Instantly, she made a gesture incantation with one hand, a dazzling blue flying sword broke through the air, flowing with variegated runes. Then the flying sword transformed visibly to the naked eye into a giant sword dozens of meters long, filled with a fierce and overbearing, unparalleled sharp mechanism, slashing toward the glamorous woman. The blood-red flame of the black long silk immediately appeared damaged with a creak sound under this enormous sword attack. However, this long silk immediately coiled like a giant python around the giant sword, making it hard to advance even an inch. Next, a giant python phantom with a blood-red glow appeared, opening its huge mouth, spewing out a chilling ghost energy. Several eerie, seemingly corroded by time, rusty chains appeared, extending toward Chu Qingyi, emanating a cold and dark glow. Clang clang clang, Chu Qingyi's eyes were cold, her magical sword fierce and overbearing, sword chi crisscrossing, breaking through chain seals, retrieving the dazzling blue flying sword and escaping into the air. However, at that moment, waves of Yin wind swept in from the sky, countless demonic cloud ghost shadows surged, like 100 ghosts walking at night, 10,000 ghosts howling. A giant ghostly shadow dozens of meters tall howled toward her. Cackle cackle cackle. He he he, woo woo woo, dear Taoist friends, since you're here, why hurry to leave? This giant ghostly shadow seemed composed of countless human figures, young and old, male and female, some enchanting and charming, others terrifying and ugly, speaking together like a soul-reaping magic sound, shrill and piercing, chilling the soul. The glamorous woman saw the ghostly shadow approaching, instantly filled with joy. Continuing to deploy the black silk magical treasures, rushing towards Chu Qingyi to intercept her. Break! Chu Qingyi halted, and from her chi ocean core the golden core emitted dazzling light, then her magical sword slashed fiercely. Dozens of indistinct, formless sword lights interweaving, demonstrating an unparalleled killing intent. Not good. The glamorous woman hastily blocked. Yet, the dazzling blue flying sword suddenly lunged again, carving a deep bloody scar on her. Ah! The glamorous woman immediately let out a shrill cry, her body flying sideways. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1420, Hee Hee. At this moment, the giant ghostly apparition swept towards Chu Qingyi. A swirling magic cloud of ghost energy seemed to seal off this realm, obscuring the sky and shrouding the sun in darkness, utterly terrifying. Go! Lu Changxing saw this and immediately signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng to rush over. Although Chu Qingyi was a sword cultivator with a superior grade golden core and formidable combat strength, this ghostly apparition's aura was on par with that of the White Peak Immortal from years past. Faced with two nascent soul cultivators including that enchanting beauty, Chu Qingyi might not be their match. Moreover, I came here to seek an explanation from the Yiming Ghost sect. If we can suppress these two nascent soul cultivators now, it will be much easier later. Lu Chuanzhen, standing by, watched as the golden-winged heavenly Peng suddenly flew off in another direction, surprised as he looked towards his father. Just happened to encounter a friend. Lu Changxing glanced at him and explained. A friend? Lu Chuanzhen was taken aback, his expression a bit odd. Does my father really have such a wide circle of friends? Can he bump into a friend even at the Yiming Ghost sect? It makes one wonder whether this friend is male or female. A moment later, he saw a heavy shroud enveloping the sky ahead. Even from a distance there was a feeling of suffocating oppression. Realizing that there's a nascent soul cultivator engaged in combat here. Boom boom boom, He then saw strands of seven-colored radiance erupting from the dark magic clouds, like beams tearing the pitch-black sky apart. Ah ah ah! Shrill, piercing cries of agony echoed, both male and female, old and young, like a deathly Brahma sound, with an invisible ghostly hand gripping one's throat, infusing the heart with horror and despair. The next moment, a figure burst forth from the swirling magic clouds into the sky. Yet, on top of the swirling magic clouds, gruesome, horrifying skulls formed, biting towards the figure. Even for someone accustomed to slaughter, Lu Chuanjun felt a chill seeing this scene. Not because the scene was too horrifying, but the supernatural abilities and techniques of a nascent soul cultivator, every move capable of interfering and impacting others' mental spirits. Facing these skulls, Chu Qingyi didn't linger in battle. The seven-colored sword light flowed around her, exuding a terrifying, sharp chi mechanism, seemingly set to shred everything to pieces. However, just as several skulls were shattered by Chu Qingyi, the magic cloud and ghost energy formed figures, ghostly apparitions, or even fierce beasts, continuing their assault. Golden Peng. Lu Changxing stood tall and poised on the golden-winged heavenly Peng, signaling it to directly attack. Whoosh! The golden-winged heavenly Peng streaked like a golden ribbon, charging straight into the swirling magic clouds. The enchanting beauty sensed a dangerous aura from the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Her expression turned towards horror as she quickly evaded. Yet at this moment, suddenly, she felt as if her soul was violently struck. Her face went pale, clutching her forehead in pain. Pfft! The next moment, she was tightly grasped by the golden-winged heavenly Peng's talons, coughing up blood, unable to struggle. Lu Chuanjun, witnessing this scene, was astonished. Even knowing his father's extraordinary prowess and the golden Peng bird's immense combat strength, having previously subdued the Tremble Heaven demon in an instant, seeing the golden-winged heavenly Peng capturing a nascent soul immortal so effortlessly left him in awe. Because it was truly astounding. After all, this was a nascent soul immortal. A nascent soul immortal, just like a tiny chick, completely helpless in its grasp. Not only him but even Chu Qingyi from afar was stunned by this scene. Though confident she could defeat the enchanting beauty in a one-on-one confrontation, she could never achieve such an easy suppression. Glancing at the golden-winged heavenly Peng and the two figures, she didn't hesitate at all, preparing to escape through the air. Qingyi. However, at this moment, a gentle voice sounded in her mind. Ha! Chu Qingyi was suddenly startled upon hearing this familiar gentle voice. Then she looked at Lu Changxing on the golden-winged heavenly Peng with a face full of disbelief. If it weren't for her sword heart clarity, confirming that this was the other party transmitting a message via divine sense, she would even suspect it was some demon path method, stirring up interference with her mental spirit. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence? She came to the Jin Kingdom and encountered him. Who are you? Why do you oppose my Yiming ghost sect? At this moment, amid the swirling ghost fog, a raspy voice that was unclear whether male or female sounded, like sandpaper grinding metal, extremely piercing. Lu Changxing did not speak, signaling the golden-winged heavenly Peng to swiftly finish the battle. Now with the golden-winged heavenly Peng, he himself was too lazy to make a move. Then he transmitted a message to Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, he'll handle the situation first, we can catch up later. Be careful, this person is from the Yiming ghost sect. Chu Qingyi immediately wanted to speak up to warn, indicating that this person's strength was not ordinary. But the golden-winged heavenly Peng had already made a move. 100,000 8,000 feathers. Surging demon chi rushed forth, numerous golden runes flowed. At this moment, the killing intent of this world was astonishing, countless golden divine feathers appeared. Each feather was like an unparalleled divine sword, shining with radiant light, spewing forth intensely fierce killing intent, sharp, intimidating, leaving people trembled at the sight. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whiz whiz whiz, the golden-winged heavenly Peng spread its wings in midair, stirring up fierce gales, countless golden feathers shot out, bursting forth with dazzling divine light. Thud thud thud. In an instant, the ghost fog was pierced by the golden divine feathers into tatters, scattered all over, echoing the shrieking and wailing of ghosts and wolves between heaven and earth. This ghost shadow true immortal cultivates the myriad ghosts technique, can transform into myriad ghosts. All this ghost fog are his incarnations. Chu Qingyi saw the shattering ghost fog reuniting, immediately reminded Lu Changxing. When fighting this ghost shadow true immortal, if one cannot find his true body, it is very easy to be drained of mana. How dare you? Coming to my Yiming ghost sect territory with impudence, you will pay. Ghost shadow true immortal roared, voice raspy and piercing. Although he could transform into myriad ghosts, these ghost shadows all required his nurturing and gathering. Now under the 100,000 8,000 feathers of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, more than half were directly annihilated, causing his battle power to decrease significantly. However, despite his harsh words, he immediately rolled up the ghost fog and fled towards the direction of the Yiming ghost sect. Transform into myriad ghosts? Lu Changxing heard this and slightly raised his brows. Then his gaze became like a torch, bursting with golden light, scrutinizing the ghost fog ahead, seeing countless ghost shadows flickering within. After several breaths, he saw a ghost shadow inside distinct from the others, relatively more solid, and immediately signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng. The golden-winged heavenly Peng's pupils blazed like two scorching suns, also perceiving some of the situation. Instantly, a dense barrage of golden divine feathers rushed towards Ghost Shadow True Immortal, forming a daunting golden ocean infused with unparalleled killing intent, leaving people trembling at the sight. Thud thud thud. Indeed, as the ghost fog was forced away, besides the piercing howling, blood also splattered out. Lu Changxing immediately saw a seemingly indistinct ghost shadow attempting to escape. Trying to leave? Yin Yang Qi grasp. Lu Changxing's expression remained calm, his eyes blazing. Qi Ocean Core Yin Yang Great Tao Golden Core trembled once, rising with boundless radiance. A mysterious Yin Yang Qi shot up from Lu Changxing's head, straight into the clouds, instantly forming a 100-zhang-sized hand of flowing yin yang, grasping the escaping ghost shadow. This, Lu Chuanzhen and Chu Qingyi saw this scene. Both were full of shock, speechless. Especially Chu Qingyi. She had investigated the Yiming ghost sect thoroughly during this time, knowing the ghost shadow True Immortal had a 6th-level core formation cultivation level, and cultivated the myriad ghosts technique. Even late-stage core formation cultivators found it difficult to kill him. But now this ghost shadow True Immortal was easily subdued by Lu Changxing. The entire process was so fast that she barely had time to react. Chu Qingyi looked at Lu Changxing's golden-winged heavenly Peng, realizing it was no ordinary demon king, already reaching 3rd rank late stage. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1421, Who are you? Doing this, my Yiming ghost sect will never let you go. No matter where you flee, it will be a dead end. Ghost Shadow True Man was brimming with rolling demonic qi, struggling against Lu Changxing's yin yang qi grasp, issuing a threat with his voice, but the tone was clearly fierce outwardly but weak inwardly. There's no need for your Yiming ghost sect to trouble me. He'll be coming to seek an explanation right now. Lu Changxing snorted coldly. The 9 treasures Rui bones surged on his chest, endless runes interwoven, emitting dazzling divine light. Sealing divine light, like an orderly chain, shot towards Ghost Shadow True Man, wrapping and binding him. Boom boom boom. Ghost Shadow True Man, already quite struggling under the yin yang qi grasp. Now facing the sealing divine light, he was immediately overwhelmed, spitting blood, his entire mana suppressed and imprisoned, falling into the other golden claw of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Lu Daoist, how come you are here? At this moment, Chu Qingyi looked at Lu Changxing, her expression shocked and uncertain, speaking in disbelief. If Lu Changxing hadn't transmitted his divine sense to her, and if she wasn't very familiar with Lu Changxing's mana, she would have been hesitant to confirm it was Lu Changxing. Because it was too astonishing. Not just the power but also this golden-winged heavenly Peng. During the brief confrontation, she saw that this golden Peng bird's power was extraordinary. A top-level demon king at the 3rd rank late stage. Yet such a demon king was used as a mount by the opponent. Even in Qingyun sect and even spirit taming sect, such spiritual beasts are top-level beings, guardian sect spirit beasts. My son was attacked by ghost demon True Man, so I came to Yiming ghost sect for an explanation, and to see if I can solve his physical problem. Lu Changxing said in a deep voice. Chu Qingyi glanced at Lu Chuanzhen, who had red eyes and a pale face, and immediately saw his essence blood was depleted, like suffering from deviation. Junior Lu Chuanzhen greets the senior. Lu Chuanzhen quickly cupped his hands in salute, though he did not know the other party. But since she was a friend of his father and also a nascent soul immortal, he naturally had to be respectful. Moreover, since this nascent soul immortal was a woman, it made him inexplicably suspicious of the unusual relationship between her and his father. I have a green blood essence pill here. It has the effects of regenerating and filling voids, cleansing the physical body and greatly replenishing essence. It will be of some help to you. Chu Qingyi nodded slightly, taking out a delicate porcelain bottle from the storage ring and handing it to Lu Chuanjun. This pill was extremely precious, a third-rank spirit pill, which she herself kept in case of emergency, prepared as a healing pill. Thank you, senior. Lu Chuanjun glanced at his father and then respectfully took it. Qingyi, how come you're here? Lu Changxing looked at Chu Qingyi in front of him, asking aloud. Upon hearing this, Chu Qingyi's heart trembled sharply and she whispered, I just happened to have a mission. Though she spoke of a mission, in reality, it was to avoid Lu Changxing, going outdoors for training and relaxation, so she felt somewhat guilty. Mission. Lu Changxing raised his eyebrows, scrutinizing Chu Qingyi in front of him, saying, You're not deliberately avoiding me, are you? He knew roughly about the system of Qingyun sect, such sections. After Chu Qingyi had just returned from the Tianyuan secret realm, unless it was a matter of urgency, they wouldn't assign missions to her. Moreover, at that time Yun Wanshang told him Chu Qingyi was in closed-door cultivation. But now, while in seclusion, she had come to Jin Kingdom. There was clearly an issue. Chu Qingyi wanted to say something but then pursed her lips and fell silent. Forget it, since there's nothing wrong, you should leave quickly. Seeing her manner, Lu Changxing immediately knew what was going on, shook his head and chose not to ask more. Were it normal times, he would still have leisure to tease Chu Qingyi, but now there was important business. Having suppressed 2 nascent soul immortals from Yiming Ghost Sect, he assumed Yiming Ghost Sect already had someone on their way. Lu Chuanjun beside him observed, focusing intently inwardly, as if he hadn't heard or seen anything. He had previously guessed about his father's relationship with others. Now hearing the conversation between the two, he couldn't help but inwardly mumble, his father truly had confidants everywhere. Apart from the heavenly spider true man of 5 poisons cult, there was also a deep connection with such a nascent soul immortal. Even in the cultivation world of Jin Kingdom, how many unknown relationships and connections does his father possibly have in Jiang country? Lu Daoist, are you going to trouble Yiming Ghost Sect? Chu Qingyi gently pursed her lips, speaking up. Yes. Lu Changxing nodded. Yiming Ghost Sect's power is formidable, with a cultivator at the peak of core formation, and its mountain protection array is a 4th-tier forbidden array, Chu Qingyi immediately said. Though Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly Peng displayed phenomenal combat strength, this power is still not enough to provoke Yiming Ghost Sect. Having such a 1,000-year legacy sect, aside from the apparent combat power, it has numerous ways that prevent preparedness. And coming to demand an explanation, such a matter is intolerable for any faction, a blatant slap in the face that easily escalates the situation. Rest assured, I know what I'm doing. Lu Changxing smiled slightly. Chu Qingyi saw Lu Changxing was unlikely to change his mind easily, but she could not watch him take risks. Silently sighed, she said softly, If that's the case, I'll go with you so I can assist you a bit when the time comes. All right. Lu Changxing looked into Chu Qingyi's clear and steadfast eyes, and then smiled lightly. Then he naturally reached out to Chu Qingyi, leading her onto the golden-winged heavenly Peng. This surprised Chu Qingyi once again. Such demon kings are exceedingly proud. Generally, apart from their masters, they rarely serve as mounts for others and typically resist. But this golden ping bird showed no sign of resistance, even voluntarily retracting its sharp aura. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1422. This is truly astonishing. It shows that this golden ping bird has completely submitted to Lu Changxing. Let's go. Lu Changxing gestured towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Whoosh! The golden-winged heavenly Peng immediately flew towards the Yiming Ghost Sect. However, before they reached the Yiming Ghost Sect, they sensed a blood-colored light flowing in the sky, surging mightily. Who's the reckless rogue daring to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost Sect? Before the person arrived, the voice came first. From miles away, a chillingly cold voice resounded. In an instant, the sky's bloody glow became denser, torrents of wind swept through, and a foul stench of blood filled the air. Lu Changxing's eyes were like torches, shining brilliantly with golden light as he saw countless blood-colored bats within the bloody light, stretching endlessly, terrifying to behold. This person is the great elder of the Yiming Ghost Sect, and his cultivation technique is the netherworld myriad ghost art. But he had a fortuitous encounter earlier in life, contracting an ancient blood bat, and transformed the netherworld myriad ghost art into the netherworld blood bat sutra, wielding unfathomable power, with a cultivation level at the core formation 8th layer. Chu Qingyi, seeing the sky filled with blood bats, immediately identified the newcomer, her eyes filled with dread. Besides the Supreme Elder who is preparing to break through to the nascent soul stage, the Yiming Ghost sect has 2 late-stage core formation cultivators. One of them is this Ghost Bat True Master. Due to his cultivation method and possession of an ancient blood bat, his power is indeed terrifying. Great Elder. The Ghost Shadow True Master and the Enchanting Beauty were full of joy upon seeing the blood shadows in the sky. Besides the Supreme Elder who is in long-term seclusion, this Ghost Bat True Master is the foremost figure in the Yiming Ghost sect. Not only does he have the strength of the core formation 8th layer, but he also possesses a late-stage 3rd-rank blood bat. Even though Lu Changsheng's strength is astonishing, instantly suppressing them, he couldn't possibly be a match for their Great Elder. Ugh ugh ugh. Lu Chuanjin inhaled the thick bloody stench, and even though he was protected by the yin-yang mysterious divine light, his face was full of pain as the blood fiend chi within him boiled. Seeing this, Lu Changxing frowned, realizing it was the opponent's cultivation technique causing the effect. He immediately raised his hand lightly, and the Tianyuan lotus appeared, enveloping Lu Chuanjin within. During the earlier battle, he allowed his son to gain some experience. But now, this battle would be hard for him to protect the other. Moreover, this Ghost Bat True Master must have cultivated techniques involving blood fiend aspects, which indirectly affected Lu Chuanjin. Qingyi, be careful. The dormant qi and blood within Lu Changxing began to revive, and he said sternly to Chu Qingyi. Then he signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng to directly attack. This person is the Great Elder of the Yiming Ghost sect, the first under the Supreme Elder. If I can suppress him, it will severely damage the Yiming Ghost sect's primordial energy. At that time I could gain a great deal from the Yiming Ghost sect through this person, resolving Lu Quanzhen's physical issues, and even securing resources for my wives' and children's future core formation. How bold! Just because you rely on a spiritual beast, do you think you're invincible in the world? The Ghost Bat True Master saw Lu Changxing riding the golden-winged heavenly Peng coming directly at him and coldly shouted. He naturally saw that the golden-winged heavenly Peng was unusual. Even his blood bat showed some timidity in the face of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. One must know his blood bat is by no means simple. Due to a bloodline atavism, it possesses some true spirit bloodline. Because of this, he relied on the blood bat to grow to such a degree. But now, the golden-winged heavenly Peng instills a sense of dread in his blood bat. Nevertheless, besides the dread, the blood bat also had a craving. It longed to devour the essence blood of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. If it could devour the golden-winged heavenly Peng, it might have a chance to advance to the 4th rank within 100 years. Lu Changxing didn't respond, and a resonance echoed from his Qi Ocean core, as the formless treasure wheel appeared, like a blazing sun spinning in his mind, making him look magnificent. The 2 people held by the golden-winged heavenly Peng were instantly suppressed into the formless domain. This battle demands full effort, and the golden-winged heavenly Peng's combat power must not be compromised. You seek death. Seeing this scene, the Ghost Bat True Master thought Lu Changxing was provoking him and shouted loudly. His voice was chilling, filled with disruptive qi mechanism, interfering with others' mental spirits. At the same time, endless blood bats swept towards Lu Changxing. 108,000 feathers. The golden-winged heavenly Peng, radiant all over, released a sound that shattered metal and stone, shaking the skies, making a killing intent pervasive on all sides. Golden divine feathers appeared like swords, emitting a fierce light, slashing towards the blood bats. Puff, puff, puff. Many blood bats were pierced by the golden divine feathers, shattering to dust. But those slain blood bats immediately transformed into a bloody mist, merging into other bats, making those bats' aura stronger. Netherworld Blood Ghost Art. The Ghost Bat True Master's voice was cold as he clenched his palm, sending a bloody ghost image hurtling towards Lu Changxing. The giant blood bat beneath him howled towards the sky at this moment, emitting a rapid, close-packed, fierce, sharp, chaotic series of notes that chilled the heart. 9 treasures: Rui Bone, vitality, energy, spirit. Lu Changxing's 3rd-rank physique fully resurrected. The runes on the 9 treasures Rui Bone on his chest surged wildly, making his physical body, mana and divine sense roar like a tsunami. Core formation 4th layer. Core formation 5th layer. Core formation 6th layer. Besides his cultivation and magical power, Lu Changxing's physical strength also improved crazily, almost advancing by a whole level, comparable to the 3rd-rank late stage. As for his divine sense, even Lu Changxing himself didn't know to what extent it had improved. because after awakening the Tai divine soul, his divine sense was already not weaker than the core formation peak. Now with the enhancement of the 9 treasures Rui Bone, the sonic attacks from the blood bat did not significantly affect him. In contrast, not far away, Chu Kinjia's face turned pale as if her entire Bodis blood was beyond her control, and a sharp blade seemed to be slicing through her sea of consciousness. She quickly circulated her cultivation technique to suppress this influence. Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Lu Changsheng's body, with its boiling and roaring blood, shone with treasure light and ignited a fierce and domineering purple-red flame, ready to rely on the third-rank body refining to quickly end the battle. Hoo! The vigorous Chi-blood magical power and the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame surged skyward, forming a fiery beacon of smoke, stirring the weather, and the scorching and violent flames illuminated the skies, burning countless blood bats into rolling bloody mist. Some of the bloody mist did not even have time to merge into other blood bats and was directly evaporated by the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame is extremely young and unyielding, exceedingly violent, and has a restraining effect on such demon path methods. Lu Changxing had previously forgotten this point. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame on his body surged even more violently, as if a flood dragon coiled around his fist and suddenly blasted forward. Boom! The bloody ghost shadow before him directly shattered, turning into rolling bloody ghost fog. The pupils of the ghost bat true master on the blood bat shrank, and his heart trembled as he sensed a strong aura of danger from Lu Changxing. His initial boldness to act against Lu Changxing was because he saw Lu Changxing's cultivation was only at the initial stage of core formation. The plan was to settle Lu Changxing first, and then with the blood bat, subdue the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Yet now Lu Changxing's aura climbed steadily, burning with a blazing violent flame that gave him a strong sense of danger. Immediately the ghost bat sent a message to the sect master Yinming Ghost King, requesting reinforcements. Today's battle concerned not only the dignity of the Yiming Ghost sect but the safety of 2 nascent soul immortals and his own future opportunities. If the blood bat could advance to the 4th rank, he too might hope to break through to the nascent soul stage in the future. Netherworld Blood Pool. Not daring to underestimate his opponent, the ghost bat true master let out a long howl, summoning a blood pool emitting a ghostly light, with viscous scarlet liquid flowing inside. This was his life-bound magic treasure, the Netherworld Blood Pool. It was crafted based on the Yinming Ghost sect's supreme treasure, the Myriad Ghosts Blood Pool with uncommon effects. Instantly, countless blood shadows emerged from the Netherworld Blood Pool, forming a mysterious and strange formation with the myriad blood bats in the sky, emitting waves of sharp and ear-piercing terror sound waves. Lu Changsheng's divine sense was incredibly stable, utterly unaffected by these sound waves. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingyi was slightly dazed, interfered again by this wave of sound. Chu Qingyi watched the distant fierce battle, slightly biting her lips, her clear and beautiful eyes filled with an indescribably complex emotion. She had initially thought of coming to lend a hand. But now with such a battle, she found it difficult to intervene. If she entered the battlefield recklessly, Lu Changxing might even have to divide his attention to save her. Yet as she watched Lu Changxing like both god and demon, his whole body burning with purple-red flames, she was suddenly lost in thought. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1423, Great 5 Elements Divine Fist. Lu Changxing's dragon roar origin burst open, causing strands of golden light to emerge from the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Then he deployed the divine skill punch from the 5 Elements Union Sutra, breaking through layers of blood light, charging towards the Ghost Bat True Master. No wonder this person dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect. The Ghost Bat True Master's eye twitched slightly, feeling uneasy. However, he noticed that Lu Changxing used some technique to elevate his strength to this level. So as long as he could delay engaging Lu Changxing in a prolonged battle, the opponent would find it difficult to maintain. Moreover, since this was the Yiming Ghost sect's headquarters, once reinforcements arrived, no matter how many tricks Lu Changxing had, he would have no choice but to surrender. Boom! The Ghost Bat True Master stepped forward, standing amidst the Netherworld Blood Pool, stirred up a massive wave of blood, forming cascading waterfalls of blood. Boom boom boom! Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly Peng directly broke through layers of blood waterfalls, reaching the Ghost Bat True Master. But in an instant, blood surged behind the Ghost Bat True Master, forming massive bat wings glowing with dark blood light, stirring the waves of blood, and then he vanished into a shadow. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Meanwhile, the ancient blood bat beneath him screeched sharply, merging with the bloodlight of heaven and earth, forming a mysterious force, charging towards Lu Changsheng. Boom, boom, boom. Within Lu Changsheng's body, the dragon roar origin surged, his pores flowed with dense dragon roar energy, and the Thunder Gang dragon flame raged fiercely, like a flaming azure dragon atop his head, tearing through heaven and earth, breaking the blood light. The fiery purple-red flames and the blood light filled the heavens and earth, pervading a terrifying aura, causing Chu Qingyi to feel incredibly shocked. She thought to herself, is Lu Changsheng's battle power possibly not inferior to her master? Cry. The golden-winged heavenly peng cried out, its 180,000 feathers rose like a golden sea, piercing through the blood light, causing the ancient blood bat to screech and suddenly fly into the sky to evade. But Lu Changsheng realized that he and the golden-winged heavenly peng were unable to inflict any harm on the ghost bat true master despite destroying the blood bats. The opponent's blood bats were different from the ghost shadows and demonic chi of the ghost shadow true man, seemingly endless, continuously birthed from the ghost bat true master's netherworld blood pool. Indeed, being able to break through the late stage of core formation is no simple matter. With my current strength, suppressing the ghost bat true master might be difficult. Moreover, he noticed that I relied on external forces to boost my strength, so he avoided direct confrontation and aimed to buy time, waiting for an opportunity. Lu Changsheng pondered the intentions of the ghost bat true master. And through brief exchanges, he also noticed that the ghost bat true master specialized in prolonged battles. Since that's the case, let's see now how my full power fares in battle. Lu Changsheng's eyes shone brilliantly, releasing 2 beams of golden divine light. Within his Qi Ocean core, the Yin-Yang Great Tao Golden Core suddenly resonated, emitting immense radiant light, and the mana of the 6th layer of core formation roared like a true dragon. Yin-Yang Great Mingling Millstone. Lu Changsheng had never deployed this divine skill before. Now, with elevated cultivation, it was the perfect chance. He also wanted to see how his full power compared. Against a nascent soul cultivator like the Ghost Bat True Master, what was the gap? The yin-yang energies flowed, emanating a profound great Dao Qi mechanism, forming 2 yin-yang fish. One was extremely masculine and rigid, the other extremely soft and gentle, constantly entwining. Boom, boom, boom. As the yin-yang interacted, the world erupted, the void shattered, all of nature's spiritual energy, essence energy, and demonic chi were swept up, forming a massive grinding mill resembling a black hole funnel, rotating relentlessly, seeming to grind all things into oblivion. Boom, boom, boom. The blood light, blood bats, and blood shadows were immediately ground to dust by this millstone, transforming into strands of yin-yang chi, causing the millstone to seemingly grow larger, its aura terrifying. Beside him, the golden-winged heavenly peng witnessed its owner's power, naturally unwilling to lag behind, its entire body shining brightly, charging to attack the ghost bat true master. Heavenly Peng Dragon Fighting Technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng was completely radiant, dazzling like a golden rainbow. A true dragon phantom emerged atop its head, tearing through the sealed heavens, charging towards the ghost bat true master. The heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was a top-tier innate divine skill. Only a few golden-winged heavenly pengs could awaken it. Once this divine skill was unleashed, the golden divine light was like a vast ocean, tearing through limitless blood light. Not good. Seeing this, the ghost bat true master's face changed involuntarily, only now realizing that he had underestimated not only Lu Changsheng's power but also the golden-winged heavenly peng's strength. Splat! The golden true dragon coiled around the golden-winged heavenly peng's body, suddenly tearing the ghost bat true master's physical form apart. But in the blink of an eye, the ghost bat true master transformed into countless blood bats, appearing dozens of meters away, evading the strike, yet still felt an intense force causing damage to his body. The golden-winged heavenly peng's eyes were cold and ruthless, its killing intent soared. Besides the true dragon phantom atop its head, a mountainous peng phantom appeared, continuing its assault on the ghost bat true master, the endless terrifying aura making the weather shift, causing heaven and earth to lose color. When the heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was evolved to the extreme, it could form the heavenly peng battles dragon diagram. This diagram was not only a top-tier divine skill for slaughter but also could amplify its battle power. Boom, boom, boom. The current battle power of the golden-winged heavenly peng surpassed Lu Changsheng, who relied on the 9 treasures Rui Bone, its golden claws winding around a series of true dragons, releasing countless golden rays with every gesture, tearing heaven and earth, aiming to slay all life. Splat! The boundless blood light and waterfalls formed by the Ghost Bat True Master's netherworld blood pool were effortlessly pierced and torn by the golden-winged heavenly peng, forcing it into a frantic retreat. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1424, Boom Boom Boom. However, the golden-winged heavenly peng attacked the Ghost Bat True Master like golden lightning. Each swing of its giant claws seemed to shatter the heavenly dome, exuding an unparalleled aura. The most astonishing and terrifying thing was that the aura of the golden-winged heavenly peng continued to rise, becoming more intense with each battle. So fierce? Even Lu Changxing was surprised to witness this scene. He knew the golden-winged heavenly peng was formidable, a top-level existence in core formation. But never did he expect it to be so fierce, its divine skills outright suppressing the late-stage core formation Ghost Bat True Master. One must know that this Ghost Bat True Master, as the great elder of the Yiming Ghost sect, second only to the Supreme Elder, had absolutely unquestionable strength. Kill? Lu Changxing looked at the ancient blood bat blocking his path, operating his yin-yang great mingling millstone. This millstone, resembling a black hole, with each rotation seemed to grind heaven and earth into powder, emanating an unstoppable power. Yet this ancient blood bat was extraordinary as well, a top-tier existence among the third-rank late-stage demon kings, its blood wings flapping, unleashing a terrifying blood rain. This blood rain seemed to corrode and decay everything, accompanied by sharp, piercing noises. Had Lu Changxing not awakened the Tai divine soul, with his divine sense surpassing the core formation peak, he would have been disturbed and affected, his consciousness disrupted. I can only kill this Ghost Bat True Master first. Lu Changxing realized that this ancient blood bat was extremely troublesome. Although his yin-yang great mingling millstone could annihilate everything, immune to countless methods, suppressing this ancient blood bat in a short time was quite challenging. 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique, 6 Senses Locking Heart. Lu Changxing's eyes shone brightly, shooting out 2 beams of golden divine light, targeting the Ghost Bat True Master being pursued by the golden-winged heavenly peng. In the sea of consciousness at his brow, the Tai divine soul, like a golden little figure, seemed to walk out, forming an invisible illusionary shadow to attack the Ghost Bat True Master. Buzz. The Ghost Bat True Master, who was continuously retreating, suddenly felt an intangible aura roaring in, his consciousness plunging momentarily into darkness, as if to descend into an illusion realm. However, his soul was not ordinary, and with a magical treasure suppressing his sea of consciousness, he instantly awakened from the blurry and chaotic images. Yet upon awakening, what greeted his eyes was a golden claw, entwined with a true dragon, glinting with a sharp, cold sheen. Puchi. The claws tore through the skies and earth, severing mountains and rivers, and the Ghost Bat True Master's body was torn into 2 by the golden-winged heavenly peng. However, in that instant, the Ghost Bat True Master's body exploded violently, turning into rolling netherworld blood mist and scattered swiftly with a swish sound. Buzz. The next moment, the Ghost Bat True Master reappeared several dozen feet away, his face pale. He must have used some secret magical ability just now to avoid being thoroughly suppressed by the golden-winged heavenly peng, bearing even greater damage. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng's eyes shone sharply, like blazing suns gazing at the Ghost Bat True Master, letting out a long cry, stirring the mountains and rivers in all directions as it continued to attack him. At this moment, the golden-winged heavenly peng fully unleashed the formidable ferocity of a true spirit-level demon king bloodline. The heavenly peng battle's dragon diagram overhead was even more intimidating, as if it would truly descend into the world, intimidating others' mental spirits. The ancient blood bat fighting with Lu Changxing seemed affected by the aura of the golden-winged heavenly peng, its fighting power and aura appearing somewhat diminished. Go go go! Where would the Ghost Bat True Master dare to fight the golden-winged heavenly peng any further? If the fight continued, whether he could outlast Lu Changxing was unknown to him. But he knew if he dragged on, he would meet his end here today. Too fierce, this golden peng bird was simply too fierce. No wonder his ancient blood bat held a sense of fear towards this peng bird. Want to escape? Lu Changxing saw the Ghost Bat True Master intended to flee, and once again executed the 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique, propelling the yin-yang great mingling millstone to suppress the Ghost Bat True Master. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The ancient blood bat, seeing this, spread its wings, forming countless gusts of bloody rain attacking Lu Changxing. However, Lu Changxing's physical body was like a dragon, burning fiercely with flames, and with the yin-yang great mingling mill suspended overhead, he was immune to countless methods, directly ignoring the bloodbat's attacks. Such terrifying divine sense attack. Who is this person exactly? Why have I never heard of such a figure? The ghost bat true master, now on guard, was not caught this time, his eyes filled with dread as he looked at Lu Changxing, his heart filled with shock. As the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, a late-stage core formation great cultivator, he not only had knowledge of the Jin Kingdom's nascent soul immortals. He also roughly knew the famous nascent soul immortals of Jiang country, Yu country, Yuan country, Liang country, and the cultivation world. But he had no memory of a figure like Lu Changxing. A person of this caliber absolutely couldn't be unknown. Puchi. In that fleeting moment, the golden-winged heavenly peng attacked again, reaching the ghost bat true master, its golden claws stretching out, imprisoning the void of heaven and earth. Boom. The ghost bat true master directly unleashed his netherworld blood pool. A massive amount of blood water and blood-colored bats appeared, sweeping across hundreds of feet. But the golden-winged heavenly peng now truly embodied the power to break through all methods with brute force. Its claws tore through the heavens and the earth. Any means seemed futile in front of it, and the ghost bat true master could only flee in disarray. 9 treasures Rui Bone, speed. Practicing ghost path and blood path cultivation techniques, the ghost bat true master excelled in fleeing, and Lu Changxing, wanting to pursue, must now activate his divine skills for empowerment. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The ancient blood bat roared furiously, attempting to disrupt and influence Lu Changxing, but was extremely wary of his yin-yang great mingling millstone, not daring to get too close. After all, if it intercepted at the cost of injury, and by the time Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly peng gave up on the ghost bat true master, turning to encircle and kill it, the danger would be high. At this moment, the ancient blood bat suddenly transformed into a beam of blood light, turning to attack Chu Qingyi. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1425. After reaching the level of a third-rank demon king, they already possess spiritual intelligence and noticed that Chu Qingyi's battle strength is relatively inferior. They can interfere with Lu Changxing through Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, be careful. Although Lu Changxing does not fear this ancient blood bat, he is well aware of its formidable power. The sonic soul attack is difficult for ordinary nascent soul cultivators to withstand. Even if Chu Qingyi possesses sword heart clarity and a superior grade gold core, she would still be affected and disturbed. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Changxing immediately exerted his full strength to suppress the ancient blood bat with the yin-yang mixed whole great mill, as if trying to draw it into a black hole funnel. However, the ancient blood bat roared, and endless blood light spread. Its massive body turned into countless tiny blood bats, appearing instantly 100 feet away, making it difficult for Lu Changxing's divine skill to suppress it. Chu Qingyi bit her lip, her face cold and determined. Originally, she thought of coming here to assist Lu Changxing in some way. Unexpectedly, now not only did she fail to help, she seemed to become a burden. Otherwise, Lu Changxing and the golden ping bird could have completely suppressed Ghost Bat True Master. Her expression resolute, she steadied her mental spirit, and with a swift motion, her azure flying sword shot forth like a long rainbow, swirling with fierce and domineering chi, slashing toward the ancient blood bat. Splat! However, facing Chu Qingyi's sword, the ancient blood bat showed no fear, neither dodging nor evading, letting it strike its body. Only to see the terrifying bat body under the magical sword instantly, akin to flowing blood, straight through. What a strange technique. Chu Qingyi realized that she had struck the ancient blood bat, but it dissipated the power using its innate divine ability. Boom! Lu Changxing, with a black hole funnel above his head, surrounded by a purple-red fiery dragon, appeared godlike before Chu Qingyi, then blasted out a powerful punch, penetrating mountains and rivers. But the ancient blood bat, like Ghost Bat True Master, avoided direct confrontation with Lu Changxing, immediately evading, buying time, waiting for him to exhaust his strength. Lu Daoist, please take me into the Tianyuan Lotus. Chu Qingyi, looking at Lu Changxing's majestic figure, said with pursed lips. Seeing the situation at hand, she knew she could hardly assist Lu Changxing and did not want to be a burden. All right. Lu Changxing nodded. Without hesitation he raised his hand, and the Tianyuan Lotus appeared, taking in Chu Qingyi. Then, with the resplendent divine light from the 9 treasures Rui Bone shining on his chest, he ignored the ancient blood bat and charged directly toward Ghost Bat True Master. He could not sustain this state for long. A quick resolution was necessary. Damn it. The disoriented ghost bat true master suddenly felt an imposing and inexplicable chi mechanism enveloping him. Looking back, he immediately saw a massive black hole funnel, dozens of feet wide, slowly rotating, breaking through the void of heaven and earth, coming to kill him. Gah. He made a snap decision, his whole bodice blood boiling, boosting the blood-burning escape technique another level, turning into a barely catchable scarlet light and disappearing. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng screeched, the mountainous great peng phantom overhead seemed one with it, rushing with wind and thunder, golden divine feathers flying, and its sharp claws tearing through the void, slashing at Ghost Bat True Master, further paling his already white face with blood spilling from his mouth. Watching the relentless clash of golden and scarlet lights, Lu Changxing felt a bit awkward. Both the man and the peng bird were so swift he couldn't quite keep up, although he could rely on the 9 treasures Rui Bone to enhance. But now he was on the verge of reaching a critical point. If he continued to enhance, it wouldn't be just a matter of recuperating for a few days. He might need half a year or even several years for recovery. Immediately, Lu Changxing gave up the pursuit of Ghost Bat True Master and maneuvered the Starlight Plate, heading swiftly toward the Yiming Ghost Sect. Planning to take advantage of his current momentum to demand an explanation from the Yiming Ghost Sect. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1426. Swish, swish, swish. Above the heavenly dome, a blood-red rainbow streaked across the sky, rolling forward, permeating a terrifying chi mechanism. Brilliant golden light continuously tore through the blood rainbow, causing endless blood to rain down from the sky, corroding the land. Damn it. Ghost Bat True Master looked deathly pale, his blood-colored magical robe in tatters. Since he broke through core formation, he hadn't been so grievously injured, killed in such a miserable and wretched manner. Today not only did he perform the substitution tribulation technique, but also the blood-burning technique, burning his origin source. Even though the blood path cultivation technique he practiced makes recovery easier than for other cultivators, it would still take at least a dozen years to recuperate. PSHHH. Golden claws extended, piercing the heavens and earth, imprisoning the void, almost tearing Ghost Bat True Master's body apart, with scarlet blood splattering. Quick, quick. Ghost Bat True Master looked toward the Yiming Ghost Sect ahead, never having felt such a short distance to be so far away. Woo woo woo. At this moment, Ghost Bat True Master suddenly heard the sounds of 10,000 ghosts howling, immediately showing joy. Sect Master. A tall, imposing man with deep-set eyes, an eagle nose and sharp falcon eyes, wearing a black brocade robe, arrived piloting a blood-stained black ghost ship. Great Elder. Yiming Ghost King was deeply moved by the scene before him, filled with horror. He was well aware of his Great Elder's strength. Even he, the Sect Master, was no match. At this moment, the Great Elder was being chased so miserably and wretchedly by a golden peng bird. Moreover, hadn't the Great Elder just left? How did he end up in such a sorry state in such a short time? Nether Ghost Boat suppress. Yiming Ghost King didn't hesitate, his core formation late-stage magical power surged, and the black ghost ship beneath him roared like 10,000 ghosts, emitting a terrifying demonic might to suppress all things, charging towards the golden-winged heavenly peng. This Nether Ghost Boat is a top-level magical treasure. Wherever it passed, the sky collapsed and the earth shook, rumbling loudly, with endless netherworld ghost shadows appearing, chilling all hearts. Heavenly Peng subdues dragon technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng with a true dragon phantom above its head roared, exuding unmatched ferocity. Facing the ghost ship, it was fearless, its metallic claws glowing cold as the heavenly peng and true dragon launched, seemingly cleaving the heavens and earth asunder. Boom boom boom. The clash of two terrifying forces immediately stirred up towering waves, engulfing the firmament. From afar, one could only see the tumultuous golden sea and dark ghost energy rising and falling, as if brewing a world-destroying scene. Go, don't get entangled with it. Ghost Bat True Master came aboard the Nether Ghost Boat, his face white as a sheet, hurriedly saying to Yiming Ghost King. This golden-winged heavenly peng was too savage. Even his life-bound magic treasure, Netherworld Blood Pool, had developed cracks. Even though the solidity of the Nether Ghost Boat was superior to his Netherworld Blood Pool, it couldn't suppress the golden-winged heavenly peng. If the fight continued, Yiming Ghost King could end up seriously injured. Currently, the Supreme Elder was in closed-door cultivation, preparing to reach Nascent Soul. If both of them were gravely injured, the Yiming Ghost sect would fall into an extremely weak state, possibly affecting the Supreme Elder's breakthrough. Go! Without needing Ghost Bat True Master to say more, Yiming Ghost King already intended to retreat. The ghost ship under his feet trembled, with mottled bloodstains flowing, forming eerie and ominous rune patterns, crossing over towards the Yiming Ghost sect. However, how could the golden-winged heavenly Peng allow the two to leave so easily? At this moment, it was not only under Lu Changsheng's orders but also unwilling to stop after displaying unmatched ferocity, wanting to tear the two into pieces and devour them. Boom boom boom, golden killing light constantly burst forth, its flames surging to the heavens, tyrannical and peerless, continuously bombarding the Nether Ghost boat, each strike shattering the void, shaking heaven and earth. If it were an ordinary magical treasure, it would have been torn to shreds by the golden-winged heavenly Peng by now. Great Elder, what exactly happened? Yiming Ghost King infused his core formation magical power madly into the Nether Ghost boat, asking his Great Elder. He wanted to know how he provoked such a supreme demon king. I don't know either. Ghost Bat True Master's face was ghostly pale, the spiritual light on his blood-colored magical robe was dim and damaged, nearly ruined. He felt aggrieved and speechless, not knowing how he had provoked such a fiend as Lu Changsheng. I am the sect master of the Yiming Ghost sect. I wonder where my Yiming Ghost sect offended Taoist? Yiming Ghost King immediately shouted towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Though he could ask the Supreme Elder to leave seclusion and wield the myriad ghosts' blood pool, he was confident in suppressing the golden Peng bird. Yet after a brief encounter he sensed the golden-winged heavenly Peng was the fastest in the world. Even his Nether Ghost boat couldn't shake it off by a fraction. In which case, unless his sect laid an ambush, utilizing the Great Formation to suppress it. Otherwise, if the other side wanted to escape, his sect couldn't stop them. The golden-winged heavenly Peng remained silent. Its job was just to show its might, negotiations had nothing to do with it. Boom boom boom, a body glowing with dazzling golden light, it was like a golden sun, bursting with a ferocious and oppressive presence, bombarding the Nether Ghost boat, causing a tremendous racket. A moment later, the golden-winged heavenly Peng and Nether Ghost boat arrived before a gloomy mountain range filled with ghostly energy and dense dark clouds. This was the mountain gate of the Yiming Ghost sect. What is happening? Who dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect? What's going on today? First, a core formation cultivator infiltrated the sect, causing Ghost Princess and Ghost Shadow Elder to leave, and afterwards, both the Great Elder and Sect Master left the sect too? Cultivators at the Yiming Ghost sect immediately sensed the terrifying Qi mechanism spreading across the heavens. Some patrolling Qi refinement cultivators felt an overwhelming weight on their bodies, trembling uncontrollably, gasping for breath. This level of combat, even at a great distance, just a few strands of suppressive aura, was an immense pressure on them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1427. Not good. That's the sect master's Yiming Ghost boat. The false core immortal stationed at the mountain gate saw the Yiming Ghost boat, his heart terrified, face full of disbelief. Absolutely couldn't believe that their own sect master had been pushed to the gate of the mountain. It's simply too terrifying, inconceivable. Hurry, activate the mountain protection array. This false core immortal quickly regained his composure and shouted loudly. Then took out a token and injected mana into it wildly. Boom boom boom. In an instant the entire Yiming Ghost sect roared, endless ghost energy rose and spread, sealing off the entire sky. The mountain protection array of the Yiming Ghost sect usually operates daily and is a third-rank superior grade entity. But with the advantage of the terrain, its power is not weaker than that of a top-grade third rank. At this moment, operating at full power, its aura climbed step by step, with endless demonic clouds and ghost fog appearing. Under the sealed sky, ghost soldiers and generals faintly appeared. Buzz. At this time, a nascent soul immortal took over control of the formation, continuously making gesture incantations with both hands, causing a ghost king with a blue face and fangs, body like a mountain, to appear in the endless ghost fog. For such a mountain protection array, it must be controlled by a nascent soul immortal or a top-level formation master to operate at full power. Roar roar roar. The ghost king roared, emitting a rapid and violent deafening sound containing a heart-stopping Qi mechanism, stirring waves of wind. Ah, my head hurts. Quickly cover your ears. This roar didn't harm the golden-winged heavenly Peng, but it made many disciples of the Yiming ghost sect pale, covering their ears, and some even had their bodies explode. This attack wasn't aimed at them, but the sonic onslaught was too terrifying, inevitably affecting some in the rush. The Ghost King's eyes and pupils were blood-red, like Abi Hell, an endless sea of blood, filled with infinite ferocity and dominance. In its hand appeared a simple and dark Hell's long spear, like a ruling underworld god, attacking the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Buzz buzz buzz, the spear tore through the void, forming terrifying vortices like an underworld wanting to pull others' souls into it. Other ghost soldiers and generals at this moment formed into countless troops, attacking like a torrent of Yin energy to suppress the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Heavenly Peng Battling Dragon Diagram. The body of the golden-winged heavenly Peng glittered brilliantly, like a burning Jinyang, with the heavenly Peng Battling Dragon diagram above its head weaving and evolving, radiating an unparalleled sharpness. Although it lacked a core formation law domain, this divine skill, the heavenly Peng Battling Dragon diagram could counter countless law domain phenomena. Clang! The talons of the golden-winged heavenly Peng entangled with the true dragon phantom clashed with the long spear, causing a piercing metallic clang. The true dragon roared. Ghosts wailed and gods howled. The void erupted with continuous thunderous sounds. The golden dragon patterned divine light and the dark hell's long spear frantically clashed, intertwining and merging unsolvably. Terrifying energy shockwaves raged above and below, tearing the space into cracks, with the land continuously breaking and collapsing. However, in this process, the true dragon phantom on the talons of the golden-winged heavenly Peng gradually dimmed. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly Peng realized it couldn't outlast this fourth-rank Grand Array's Ghost King. But at this moment, its instinctual unwillingness had been triggered. The heavenly Peng Battling Dragon diagram weaved and evolved above its head, radiating brilliant divine light, making its body seem to ignite with a blazing golden divine flame. What kind of bloodline demon beast is this so terrifying? It looks somewhat similar to a gold-winged great rock? Could it be a bloodline reversion of a golden-winged great rock? Many cultivators of the Yiming ghost sect were horrified and dumbstruck upon seeing this scene. Even the Yiming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master felt a shiver in their hearts, feeling deeply unsettled when looking at this golden-winged heavenly Peng. Too terrifying. One must know this is a fourth-rank Grand Array. Though this Ghost King's power isn't as strong as a nascent soul true lord, it is comparable to a nascent soul, practically a quasi-fourth rank. But now this golden-winged heavenly Peng could actually confront the Ghost King, simply unimaginable. Fellow Taoist, I'm not sure where my Yiming ghost sect has offended you. Could there be some misunderstanding between us? The Yiming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger and spoke to the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Although being attacked at their mountain gate was extremely vexing. But he was keenly aware that it wouldn't be easy to keep this golden-winged heavenly Peng unless they fought bitterly. The golden-winged heavenly Peng still remained silent, radiating fierce might. This demon king is someone else's spiritual pet, perhaps well know when this person arrives. Beside him, the Ghost Bat True Master clutched his chest, speaking pale-faced. He sensed his ancient blood bat nearing, about to arrive. Spiritual pet. The Yiming Ghost King's face was extremely grave. To be able to tame such a spiritual pet, this person's strength is beyond doubt. He just noticed their great elder's ancient blood bat absent, realizing something was amiss. Before long, a massive black hole funnel swirled in the sky, seeming ready to crush all under it. Looking closely below the funnel, a figure stood tall, with starlight flowing beneath their feet. Golden Peng, come back. Lu Changxing looked at the Golden Peng engaging with the Yiming Ghost Sect's Grand Array and called out. His soul was sharp, sensing the terror of this Grand Array before him. The chi mechanism was immense, mighty and vast. Even though he had the fate-defying robe, unsealing divine light, and dozens of third-rank prohibition-breaking talismans, facing this fourth-rank Grand Array, he feared it wouldn't be enough to break through. However, seeing that the Yiming Ghost Sect only engaged with the golden-winged heavenly Peng through the Grand Array and no one else acted or set up battle formations, it confirmed his suspicion. As long as he demonstrated power and had enough combat strength, the Yiming Ghost Sect would also be wary. If they're not certain they can kill him, they won't want to fight to the death. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible.